Signs of slowing inflation, falling energy, and optimism surrounding China's reopening, often considered laggards on the global market stage. Stock indexes across the European region in recent months have outperformed. Germany's DAX indexes, France's CAC 40 have each risen 18% or more in the past 3 months through Tuesday, more than double the 8.5% gain for the S&P 500. The UK's benchmark FTSE 100 has also surged, putting it a little more than 2% away from reaching a record high. Turnabout underscores how drastically economic expectations have shifted regarding Europe, which only months ago was engulfed by anxieties over the war in Ukraine, a possible energy crisis, and record high inflation. Those issues haven't gone away completely, though investors have felt more comfortable continuing to wade back into investing in the continent. The start of a new year hasn't derailed their optimism either. Gains for European indexes have so far this year outstripped those in the U.S. Even after Tuesday's drop across Europe, the FTSE 100 lost 0.4% for the day. The DAX down 0.1%. S&P added 0.7%. In one recent sign of confidence, traders poured their largest two-week sum into UK stock funds since June. Investors added more than $188 million on a net basis to UK mutual and ETFs in the period ended Wednesday. Meanwhile, positioning in the European futures market has grown more sanguine. Investors last week ramped up bullish bets across European indexes. I thought sanguine meant like not as aggressive. Optimistic or positive?
Sanguine. Sanguine.
Sanguine. Bullish bets across European indexes at a greater magnitude than across U.S. indexes. European stocks have shown a lot of resilience, probably more resilience than was expected. The strength of Europe's bounce back is the result of mechanics and fundamentals. Compared with the U.S., stock indexes in Europe aren't dominated by the kinds of big tech stocks that have dragged down the U.S. market. In a higher interest rate environment, investors' preference for value stocks such as banks, retailers, energy companies has benefited cyclically tilted European indexes. Prolonged weakness last year in the euro and the British pound against the dollar made European stocks cheaper and more attractive to some investors. Additionally, it was a boon to European companies that derive large chunks of revenues from overseas. A weaker euro and pound increases European companies' export competitiveness and the value of their dollar-based revenues. A turnaround in the euro and a pound in recent weeks, driven in part by growing optimism for the region, has more recently helped boost returns for dollar-based investors. The strength of European stock markets has been driven by a stronger economic backdrop. A warmer than expected winter has relieved investors' worries that an energy crisis could torpedo the economy. Falling energy prices have helped bring inflation down. Data from the EU Statistics Agency showed the annual rate of inflation eased in December for the second consecutive month, with consumer prices rising at their slowest pace since August. Inflation is also slowing in the UK. The sudden easing of China's restrictions provide an unexpected boost to European stocks, including miners in the luxury retail. Luxury goods giant LVMH and Birkin bag maker Hermes International each climbed 11% this year on hopes that Chinese consumers, an important component of the luxury market, will increase spending overseas. There is a stronger connection between European stocks and China than with U.S. stocks. He wasn't optimistic about the outlook for Europe, believes the European Central Bank is still in the early stages of tightening. More pain is likely awaiting European economies as borrowing costs rise. The long-term support that China's reopening can bring to European companies remains a big question mark. Short-term, there's a flurry of positive factors that have been profiting European stocks. Longer run, these factors are probably going to wane. Another question is whether traders' current preference for value stocks will persist. If tech stocks rebound sometime in 23, that could dent the allure of European markets. The jury's still out at the moment. In early days, we haven't yet seen a peak in interest rates. We can't yet be confident about whether there'll be a global recession or not in 2023. Wow. That's crazy, man. When you've got the European stock market outperforming the American stock market, something is wrong. Pathetic. Pathetic. Representative Mary Miller, I'm thrilled to report the military COVID vax mandate is finally over thanks to the hard work of conservatives in Congress. Some said an NDAA rescinding the vax mandates would never pass. I'm so happy we fought and won this victory for our troops. Amen. Project Veritas. 1 year ago today, released explosive DARPA docs exposing Fauci appeared to lie under oath about the origin of COVID and gain of function. Twitter censored exposed Fauci and other Project Veritas reports. Who was involved with this censorship, Elon?
A year ago today, Project Veritas received military documents.
Yo, Lampshade 153's in the house. First chatter in the stream. What's up, Lampshade? Good to see you, man.
About gain-of-function research, which were called into question when Anthony Fauci was testifying before the Senate, and Anthony Fauci mentioned Project Veritas.
What came out last night on Project Veritas
exposed Fauci. That hashtag by Project Veritas was trending worldwide. Now this week, the latest installment of the Twitter files were released. This is an email between Scott Gottlieb, a board member at Pfizer, sent back in August of 2021 to a Twitter executive by the name of O'Boyle. The Pfizer board member Gottlieb is lobbying the Twitter executive to censor a tweet.
What are we doing? Lampshade, we're talking politics. It's a Tuesday night. So we're going to be talking politics all night long. I just started the stream, Lampshade, so we don't have a lot of folks in here yet, but give it a few minutes, Lampshade, and chat's going to be popping. We're going to be debating politics. We're going to be going over the latest news stories. People are going to be sharing links to interesting videos and news articles that came out today, and I'm going to be giving the best and most articulate and truthful, informed and educated, logical analysis available.
Tweet that talks about how your natural immunity is better, stronger, etc., than Pfizer's own vaccine.
Well, yeah, politics stink, Lampshade. The reason politics stink is because the American people are tuned out and are allowing our politicians to run amok, and we're not holding them accountable, which is why I think as citizens in a constitution, assuming you're an American, as citizens in a constitutional republic, we have a duty and an obligation to be informed about what's going on with our politics and to talk about these issues with our fellow citizens.
The rationale that the Pfizer board member uses is that the information could go, quote, viral, and that this sort of information is, quote, corrosive. Now, Project Veritas did a video featuring Pfizer employees and scientists, literal colleagues of Scott Gottlieb, basically saying this, that their vaccine isn't as strong as your natural immunity.
We're like bred and taught to be like vaccine is safer than actually getting COVID. You cannot like talk about this in public.
Your antibodies are probably better at that point than the vaccination.
Now that we're unbanned, we reposted them. In lieu of the highly anticipated Fauci files, we call upon Elon Musk and Twitter to help us expose what were those efforts to censor not just these things, but Project Veritas' own reporting. I'm sure that emails and other exhibits exist out there of Pfizer and other organizations talking to Twitter executives about Project Veritas. We want to see those emails released.
I agree. I want to see those emails released. All right, let's see what the top stories on Wall Street Journal are. Most popular news, Wall Street Journal. Classified documents found at Biden's think tank. Biden is guilty, dude. Biden is guilty of mishandling classified. Biden plans to ease rules for student loan forgiveness. Powell says Fed will not become a climate policymaker. Thank goodness, dude. Oil and gas are back and booming. Good. Newsom proposes budget cuts to bridge $22 billion deficit. Holy crap. $22 billion deficit in Cali? They're in trouble, man. Opinion, where are the next COVID treatments? The disorganized GOP and other signs of the great inversion. Joe Biden, the El Paso kid. Opinion, putting the IRS on tax notice. Biden is coming for your gas stove. Insane, man. Insane. Why a bite has been taken out of Beyond Meat stock. How Prince Harry and Meghan Markle make their money. That one might be interesting. Kevin McCarthy faces uphill battle as new House Speaker. New York nurses continue strike. Brazil protesters demand punish for rioters. Here we go. Let's check out this.
When it comes to
Wall Street Journal
value,
video.
which popular brand has the lowest cost of ownership? Lower than Toyota, Honda, or Hyundai? Subaru.
Get 2.9% APR financing on select new 2020.
I don't know why I clicked this crap. Why do I clip Harry and Prince Harry crap? Good night. We all got to tune this crap out, but I guess I'm as guilty as anybody else is clicking on stupid ass Prince Harry's stories.
Prince Harry's memoir Spare is the latest release from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's vast portfolio of shows, podcasts and books after stepping down as working members of the British royal family in 2020. No longer paid to represent the Crown, the couple have explored new income streams as the next chapter of their lives unfolds. Here's what we do and don't know about how Harry and Meghan make their money.
Harry, are you putting money before family? Are you putting money before family?
In Spare, the title...
Harry, are you putting money before family? Harry, are you putting money before family? Dude, if anything, he put money... I don't know. I'd be kind of curious to know, like... Did they think that they were going to be able to make more money as non-working royals, whatever the heck a working royal is?
A nod to having an heir and a spare to the throne, Prince Harry speaks about topics ranging from physical altercations with his brother William to losing his virginity to an older woman behind a pub. The couple signed a book deal with Penguin Random House, widely reported to be worth $20 million, which includes the headline-grabbing memoir.
I called my publishers up right away and said, put me on the list.
The story is interesting because it keeps evolving.
I'm sure it's partially due to a lifestyle that they want, and what can they sell?
On the day of its release, Spare was at the top of Amazon's bestsellers list. Alongside the book deal, there are multi-year agreements with Netflix and Spotify, reported to be worth roughly $120 million. Harry and Meghan will make content for the two platforms through divisions of their Archwell organisation. Their first offering, for Netflix, a 6-part documentary series, had the streaming service's biggest debut for a documentary titled by hours viewed, the company said.
We all have greatness within us.
Harry also has a job at the Silicon Valley startup Better Up as Chief Impact Officer. His compensation package was not disclosed, but jobs with that title boast an average salary of $140,000, according to Talent.com. The Duke and Duchess also received an unknown but substantial sum from Harry's father, according to a spokesperson. Altogether, that would total a lot more than the sum they received from the then Prince Charles in 2020. Financial releases from his estate reveal the Sussexes, along with William and Kate, shared around $5.4 million to fund their activities. Now, Harry and Meghan have security costs and living expenses to worry about. They live in Montecito, California, where they bought a home for over $14 million. And there was the small task of paying the Crown back the estimated $3 million it cost to renovate Frogmore Cottage in Windsor. Harry and Meghan lived there after they were married, until their move to the US.
So why'd they have to pay him back? Why'd they have to pay that back? Legendary's in the house. What's up, Legendary? How come the FBI aren't raiding Biden's home? Exactly, Legendary. Biden is guilty of mishandling classified information. Where are the raids? Why aren't they taking away Biden's cell phone? They need to go seize Biden's cell phone. We need to seize all the Democrats' cell phones and get all their text messages and emails. What is going on? Where's equal justice? You think the Democrats are just doing this to say the judicial system isn't biased against conservatives? Oh, that's very, very possible. Very, very possible, Legendary. I think if they indict Hunter Biden on the tax thing, then that's 100% for that. Num is in the house. What's up, Num? Good to see you, man. Cali pounded by more storms, swept away. Montecito evacuates, drought and flood. Oh my gosh, dude. Are they really trying to say U.S. intel related to Ukraine, Iran, and UK found in Biden private office? Wow, dude. U.S. intelligence materials related to Ukraine, Iran, and the UK found in Biden's private office. Wow, dude. Wow. Is Biden going to be impeached for this? Surprised? If Democrats had an ounce of fairness and were not hardcore hypocrites, they'd be calling for Biden to step down or be impeached for having classified documents Iran and Ukraine in his private office. Alas, here we are. Mishandling classified docs is serious. Alas, here we are. Boom. Holy cow. Tylenol Jenkins in the house. What's up, Tylenol Jenkins? OMG, what are these doing in my desk? Right? Mike Mushroom, what up, Mike Mushroom? Good to see you, man. If the Democrats had an ounce of mushrooms, think would be a lot better. Hey, what kind of mushrooms? U.S. intelligence materials related to Ukraine, Iran, and UK found in Biden's private office. Among the items from Biden's time as VP discovered in a private office last fall are 10 classified documents, including U.S. intelligence memos and briefing materials that cover topics including Ukraine, Iran, and the UK. Iran is a nuclear threat, dude. I thought they were all upset about Trump. Oh my gosh. Sorry, let me turn this off. Sorry, let me turn that crap off. AG Merrick Garland received a preliminary report on the documents inquiry. A law enforcement source said, and now faces a critical decision on how to proceed, including whether to open a full-blown criminal investigation. Wow. Doesn't this require a special counsel? Why don't we have a special counsel to handle the criminal investigation into Biden's mishandling of classified docs? The Biden admin going to investigate itself, then dismiss the charges? Corruption. Wow, dude. How can, of course, Merrick Garland can't be the one to investigate this. Merrick Garland is a partisan hack. He's Joe Biden's henchman and stooge man. Like, we can't trust Merrick Garland. Virginia had a special election today. I saw a lot of Republicans in my district. Oh, really? Right on, no? Is that the one vacancy that there was in the House? Why is there a special election? Why have I not heard anything about it? Democrats hope to keep momentum with Virginia's special election. Daily Press. Virginia Senate seat. Oh, it's a state Senate seat. Oh, it's a state Senate seat. No wonder. Desert Beauty's in the house. What's up, Desert Beauty? Talk about calling the kettle black, right? Greetings, Desert Beauty. Yep. AG Garland has received a preliminary report on the docs inquiry, law enforcement source said, and now faces a critical decision on how to proceed, including whether to open a full-blown criminal investigation. U.S. Attorney in Chicago briefed Garland multiple times. No additional briefings are scheduled, but would be conducted if necessary. Dude, this also may be... This what's going on right here, this also may be part of the deep state and the Democrats' efforts to try to get Biden to not run in 2024. It's all like they could, dude, if the Democrats wanted to get Biden to no longer run in 2024, all they'd have to do is suddenly care about corruption. Only question is, will they? If the deep state and the DNC wanted to get Biden to not run in 2024, it'd be very easy. All they would have to do is suddenly care about corruption and they could destroy Biden's life super easy. Only question is, will they? I wonder if that's what this is. I wonder if this whole thing is just an effort to try to get Biden to not run in 2024. American Patriot Eagle 1776, what's up? As a leftist, I absolutely love the Biden document story because now we get to see Trumpers twist themselves into explaining how what Biden did is World War III, but Trump's was just a case of Mr. Innocent getting raided by the mark. Well, there's a difference, American Patriot. There's a difference, okay? Number one is that, guess what? The president gets to decide what's classified and not classified. When Joe Biden took those documents, he wasn't president. Guess what? Trump was president. There's a difference between being president and not being president. I don't know if you know that. There's a difference between vice president and president. Glock Ripper, what up? Glock Ripper, the answer to your question is because he's a troll. He has that name because he's a troll. The classified docs were dated between 13 and 16. They're found in 3 or 4 boxes containing unclassified papers that fall under the Presidential Records Act. Vast majority of the items in the office contain personal Biden family documents, including materials about Beau Biden's funeral arrangements, condolence letters. It's not clear if the boxes with classified documents contain personal materials. Garland assigned the U.S. Attorney in Chicago a holdover from the Trump admin to investigate the matter. Garland made the move after receiving a referral from the National Archives and Records Administration. Documents discovered on November 2nd, just 6 days before the midterms, but the matter only became public. Oh, what a coincidence! How interesting, guys. Whoa, how amazing. Can you guys believe it? It's like, whoa. Yeah, the fact that Biden mishandled classified documents, yeah, that was discovered 6 days before the midterm elections, but I guess it's only coming out public now, guys. Sorry, after the elections. And people wonder why we don't trust the deep state and why we don't trust the media. How many times does there have to be a situation where there's horrible, horrible news discovered about a Democrat, but it's hidden and not disclosed to the public until right after the elections? American Patriot Eagle is now literally spouting Trump arguments after spending the last 6 months saying how wrong they are. What a hypocrite. This will kill any case they have against Trump. You would think so, Num. You would think so. Yep. Probably is a huge benefit to Trump. Maybe they're doing this to try to help Trump in the GOP primary because they don't want to have to face DeSantis. That's another theory you have to view as a possibility. Are Democrats releasing the Biden classified document mishandling criminal story to neutralize the case against Trump, to try to help Trump in the 2024 GOP primary, because Dems know they will lose to DeSantis, so they want to help Trump? Question mark. That's a That's a very, very important question. Now, look, I'm just asking the question. I'm not saying that's it. Trial of... I was given many of these notable British trials by the famous DC lawyer Jacob Stein, a fellow bibliophile. He put a check mark on each spine after he'd read the book. He hadn't read them all when he sent these to me. Dude, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of a bibliophile. If that's like somebody that's is a bibliophile, somebody that's obsessed, a person who collects or has a great love of books. I'm kind of a bibliophile. In fact, some of these books that I've got behind me are really, really cool books. Like I've got some of these law books behind me that were printed in like 1919. Some really, really cool stuff. Guest is in the house. What's up, guest? Lecture now has cooking streams using only natural gas. Yes. I'm pro natural gas. Pro natural gas stream. I'll put that as a stream title. This is now a pro gas stream. I'm pro natural gas. Pro horse, pro natural gas. Herman Cain, Vampire Hunter, Das Blitzwolf. What up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. My coworker made fun of Biden today, but then instantly started bashing Trump, called him a tyrant. She didn't even know how long Obama was in office. Amazing, dude. It's so funny these leftists will call Donald Trump a tyrant and Republicans a tyrant. It's like, wait, hold on. So you think that Trump is a tyrant because he wanted to give you more freedom of choice and he wanted to give you more liberties? But the Democrats are not tyrants when they're trying to take away your freedoms and liberties? My furnace, stove, and dryer are all natural gas. I love it. Me too, Altair. Me too. Me too. Actually, I don't know. I don't think my dryer is. But my furnace and my stove are both natural gas. Why, legendary? Pro fart sound? Oh, natural gas. Because I'm pro gas. It was just on the news. The Biden School for Government at University of Delaware went from $31 million in endowments to last year $100 million, but they sealed the donation list till after Biden leaves office. What are they hiding? Dirty CCP money. Oh my word, guess. For sure. There's so much corruption with the Bidens. Just like they're hiding the identity of these people that are overpaying for these stupid Biden paintings. Arkansas. What's up, Arkansas? It's aggravating how that ideology co-ops words like liberal or liberty, but I'm not sure they even know the definition. No, I mean, people can... You could spend literally all day long talking about the definition of words and what qualifies as those words, and I personally don't think it's a worthwhile endeavor to argue over what the definition of the words are and what is that and what's not that. I'd rather talk about policies personally. The sad person glorifying death might be walking along TOS lines. Yeah, is that Vampire Hunter? Or no, Herman Cain Awards. Yeah, Herman Cain's Awards, that is a violation. Dude, I swear, I'll time you out, Herman Cain Awards. You'll get the timeout. You'll get 10 minutes. 10 minutes to think about yourself, Herman Cain Awards. But yeah, that is a violation of terms of service. I swear, dude. The only people that ever violate Twitch terms of service in terms of like hate speech, racism, misogyny, promoting violence, glorifying, it is always a leftist. I swear, it is the most amazing thing. It is the most absolute incredible thing. We'll tweet that out. As a Twitch streamer, I have to ban chatters for racism, sexism, glorifying violence, etc. I do it 99 out of 100 times. It's a Democrat. It's amazing, but that's how it is. Every single time someone comes into my chat spewing racism, it is always a leftist. Yep. That's how it is, man. These people are sick. Their mental health is not there. These people are sad. They're depressed. They're empty inside. They're spiritually rotten. They're spiritually dead. And they come in and they glorify violence. They talk about how they wish people would die. They say racist stuff. These Democrats are not healthy, man. They don't have good family lives. They're addicted to pornography, addicted to drugs, you name it. It's really sad to see, because these are humans that, were created in God's image and God loves them, but they've rejected morality, and you can just see it so clearly. And even their messages, even their chat messages on Twitch, you can just tell. Wow, Glock Ripper. That's not even a TOS violation. Sergeant Buzzkill, what's up, Sergeant? Just saw that Rep. Pat Fallon filed articles of impeachment. Yeah, Sergeant Buzzkill. We were watching the Ted Cruz podcast yesterday, and he said that he thinks the House will successfully impeach Mayorkas for what he's done at the border, and I think that's a good thing. I remember when the Donald was still on Reddit. It was seriously one of the most positive communities on the website. Everyone was encouraging and motivating. There's no hate. Exactly, Altair, exactly. Did you hear One Eye Patch McCain lost his committee seat? Yeah, that's not cool, Desert Beauty. I'm not okay with you with that kind of an attitude and that kind of disgusting attitude towards a veteran who served this country. I think that's grotesque. Not okay with that, man. I think that's really, really not cool at all. Cold Soul, what's up, Cold Soul? Skydiver Down, what's up? Mick Linebacker, what's up? Right, Cold Soul. It's pure projection. It's pure projection. Negativity feeds on negativity as evil begets evil. It's the mental state they have let fester. Right. Absolute worst part, they get the vote. Right. And they're takers too, Mick Linebacker. These people are usually not successful. They work at the gas station or at the fast food joint, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, but whereas a lot of the conservatives, like, even if they're in those positions, they actually work hard. They're trying to move up, whereas these leftists will just be stuck in those positions and just say that they're entitled, and they'll just hate rich people and stuff like that. Whereas a conservative in one of those positions will be working to better themselves. They won't be jealous and greedy about others. They'll be trying to better themselves, etc., etc. And it just so happens that a lot of it's amazing. Like a lot of my community, a lot of the people that watch me religiously are all like extremely smart, extremely successful people. Whereas you go into these leftist chats and it's like 12-year-olds, Rolo Tomasi, what's up, Rolo Tomasi? Yes, you know it. Jay Brown, what's up? My company, against my advice, donated tech to new low-income homes, and most of them had natural gas stoves and dryers and natural gas fireplace, so if Biden bans them, they will have nothing. Oh, of course, guess that's how this stuff works. It always ends up harming all of these leftist Democrat policies that they think are so wonderful. It always hurts low-income people the most. That's the ironic part about this, dude. Socialism harms low-income people the most. Just amazing. Biden's mishandling of boom. Fatormophitis with 300 bits. Boom. Thank you, Fatormophitis. First cheer of the stream. First cheer of the stream. Thank you, Fatormophitis. Thank you, Desert Beauty. Thank you, Desert Beauty. I just ordered. Holy cow, Altair. Boom. Trying to get a hype train started. Can we get a hype train? Who wants to be the conductor? Just ordered a solar cricket cooker from Amazon. I'm set for the Great Reset. Nice. Jim Barr. What's up, Jim Barr? If leftists were smart, they wouldn't be leftists. True. 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 They use natural gas in White House kitchens. Oh my gosh, Biden doesn't care about the health and well-being of his people. Dude, did you see that they banned incandescent light bulbs too? Joe Biden banned incandescent light bulbs. Exactly, Rollo Tomasi. We don't even have an electric grid capable of handling our current electricity demands, and Democrats aren't in favor of creating more electricity. Mick Linebacker. Holy cow. Thank you, Mick Linebacker and Oh my word. Thank you, Mick Linebacker. Wow. Thank you so much, man. Oh, yeah. My wife's high school good friends doesn't have a job, nor does her husband. They have 4 kids. When COVID happened, they're calling our senator, writing letters to really shut everything down, full stop. They're absolute leeches. Unbelievable, Mick Linebacker. You know what? Look, my crazy experience, we should ban electricity because it's dangerous. Right, Right. No, my experience with COVID shutdowns was I was living next door to this person who was on unemployment. And dude, this person was on unemployment, and then COVID happened, and they started getting that extra $600 a week on top of their other stuff. Dude, and all of a sudden, they were buying stuff like you wouldn't believe, dude. These unemployed people, COVID happens, CARES Act passes, extra $600 a week, and all of a sudden, these people are walking around with brand new brand name clothing, brand new boots, all this gardening stuff outside. New Traeger grills and new smokers and all of this stuff, man. It was wild. None with another 300 bits. Boom. Thank you, guys. Oh my word. What a surprise. What a nice little hype train. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. But dude, but okay, here's the thing too, like about this. So they're banning natural gas appliances. They're banning incandescent light bulbs, and then they're trying to say that Republicans are the tyrants. Democrats are banning light bulbs. Holy cow! Audi Glaze with the tier 1 sub. Boom! Thank you, Audi Glaze. 19 months, man. That is absolutely huge. Thank you so much, Audi Glaze. You guys, it means so much. What an amazing hype train. Already to level 2, pushing to level 3. 24% of the way to level 3 hype train. 4 minutes left. Let's go. Thank you guys so much. You know, I can't tell you how much it means to me, and I'm constantly wondering, man, is it worth? Should I keep streaming? And you guys supporting me like that is a huge inspiration for me to continue streaming instead of spending my time writing a book or doing something else. But they want to ban. Democrats are banning light bulbs and gas stoves, and at the same time saying Republicans are authoritarian tyrants. Imagine how insane you have to be to support banning light bulbs and stoves while thinking the party who wants freedom is the authoritarian tyrant. It's just amazing. I saw in I signed up for, if you guys haven't signed up for the Committee to Unleash Prosperity Hotline, which is from Stephen Moore, who is the economic advisor to President Trump and started the Committee to Unleash Prosperity. I got turned on to this from hosting the radio show because they got that every day, and I'd use it to have stuff to talk about on the radio. But he pointed out Stephen Moore in the Prosperity Hotline today pointed out how the Democrats are banning incandescent light bulbs. They want to ban stoves. They want to ban light bulbs. I mean, these people are tyrants. This is tyranny. By the way, DZ Drunk, welcome. Thank you again, everybody, for hopping on this hype train. Everybody check your sub status. Check if you want to move to a tier 3 stub. Check if you've got any bits. Check if you've got a prime. Let's get this to level 3, 24% of the way there. 2 minutes to go. Let's do it. Jay Brown says, did you see that Republican reps are pushing the end of the IRS and income tax? Yes, Jay Brown, yes. I've been a long time proponent of the fair tax, which is you get rid of the income tax and you do a national consumption tax. There's so many benefits to it, including the fact that it would tax illegal aliens, it would tax the underground and black market economy, it would tax tourists, it would be a lot fairer, there would be no more compliance costs, we could get rid of the entire IRS code, you would get rid of social engineering by Congress through the tax code. There are so many benefits to it. I'm a huge proponent of it. Of course, it doesn't stand a chance because the tax code is now so massive and there's so many entrenched interest within the tax code. Every sort of lobbyist has a provision of the tax code that they love because that they lobbied for and got through Congress. So they're all going to be against it because, again, the tax code is nothing more than just the result of a bunch of special interest handouts. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't get monkeypox stimulus checks. Right. Grasshopper. What's up, Grasshopper? Mick Linebacker, one of the most underrated streamers, Lecture fan. Well done, sir. Thank you, Mick Linebacker. Thank you so much, man. I do my best. I try my best. Really means a lot for you to say that. 30 seconds left, folks. 30 seconds left to try to get to level 3. Banning gas stoves would put a lot of restaurants out of business. Oh, for sure. Dude, no, they don't want people going to restaurants anyways. They want you on that rice and beans and rice diet. That's what it's all about. I'm more about no tax, that a consumption tax would be better than income. For sure, income is set up to screw people over. Correct. Yeah, exactly, Jay Brown. The income tax is a way to prevent people from gaining wealth. There it is. Hype train success. Thank you, everybody. What a nice little hype train. 6 subs and 900 bits. Nice little level 2 hype train there. Thank you, guys. 6 subs, 900 bits. Not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. That's a real hype train. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate that. Audi Glaze, Numb, McLinebacker, Altair, and Phatormophitis getting in on that hype train. Thank you guys. I'd exclude essentials like food. You could do that, Sergeant Buzzkill. I mean, you could do that. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily want to start excluding stuff too much, Sergeant Buzzkill. And in fact, the better way to do it is through a prebate. But you wouldn't want to start excluding stuff because then it starts to look like the IRS code where you've got a bunch of special interests. Oh, exclude this, exclude that, exclude this. The better way to do it is you do a prebate. And so you find, okay, let's say how much does a low income person spend on food a year? And let's say it's $3,000 or $4,000 or something like that. I have no idea. I'm just guessing. What you would do then is say, okay, here's the amount that person would pay in a consumption tax on $3,000 worth of food. Okay, and let's say it's 10%, so it's $900 or something. And so, no, that's not right. $300. And so then you would basically just give the person $300 at the beginning of the year. It's like a prebate to give that much, so that therefore basically low income people aren't paying sales tax on food. That's the way that the fair tax had proposed doing it. I read the fair tax book by Neil Bortz. If you guys haven't read it's called The Fair Tax. It's a book by Neil Bortz. Really explains all of these different reasons. There's so many good reasons to do a national sales tax instead of a national income tax. Without lecture, Rob, BX people would not see the truth and see a lie. Exactly, guess, dude. Me, Rob, and BX are like voices in the wilderness here on Twitch. By the way, Okai TV. Okai TV's in the house. What's up, Okai TV? Welcome. Thank you, though, guys. Appreciate the kind words. We are here. We are, me, Rob, BX. We're here on Twitch trying to bring a little bit of truth to the uninformed, ignorant masses that are on Twitch. How many times is a dollar taxed before it reaches your bank account from your paycheck? It's a lot. Payroll tax, income. Oh, so many, so many. If you actually go through it, it's incredible. It's just like property taxes too. You have to pay property taxes every year, or you lose your property. It's like, dude, I already paid for this. I already paid taxes on it once. Why do I have to keep paying taxes every year on this? Frankly, I kind of agree with what, I don't know who it was earlier that said they'd rather have no tax. But I'm okay with having tariffs. That's how our government was originally funded. The United States government was able to operate and fund everything with just tariffs. No taxes on anything else, just tariffs. And ideally, you'd have no income tax, you'd have no consumption tax, you just have tariffs. And that's it. And that's how you fund the government. Now, I'm not a huge, I don't think tariffs are great. I like free trade, et cetera, et cetera. But again, would you rather have tariffs or would you rather have an income tax? Would you have tariffs or would you rather have a consumption tax? In terms of the lesser evil, I think that would be the way to go. And of course, you'd have to massively cut the federal government down to size, which would be a good thing in a lot of other ways as well. I still think the state of Tennessee did not ratify the income tax amendment. I've never looked into that one. They've only the debate on the amendment. Their state historians can't find the vote. Author Brad Meltzer looked into it, was shocked that there was no evidence of the vote. Huh. Fair tax also wants to raise sales tax to 20%. I think it's something like that, Sergeant. Well, the funny thing is, Sergeant Buzzkill, what's really interesting, okay, is if you actually look at what percentage of all income the federal government actually collects in taxes overall, it's 18%. And what's interesting is it doesn't matter what the tax rates are over time. If you look at through the last 150 years or something, or I guess it'd be 130 since the income tax, but the last 100 years or so, you can actually look, and the federal government always collects about 18% of all income across the country, even at a time when tax rates have gone from 90%, 5% up to 90% down and up, and all these different tax changes and tax code changes and all this complicated stuff, and rates here and rates there and rates here and rates there. And yet, it's really interesting. It's very, very consistent. The federal government every year collects about 18% or something like that. So if you're going to do a flat tax or a national sales tax or something, it needs to be into that 18 to 20% area in order to maintain the current system. Of course, we shouldn't be maintaining the current system. We should be doing massive tax cuts, and then you could lower that percentage quite a bit. I pay more than $500 a month in property taxes to live in a home I paid for. Jeez, Jim Bart, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. I'm paying $300 a month or something. $250 a month, maybe. Okay, TV, what's up? I love it. Awesome, man. Exposed to BS. I just restarted streaming, and Twitch is so saturated. It's been hard to find good right-leaning streamers. Oh, for sure. Okay, TV, for sure, man. There's only a couple of us out here. But we're out here, we're doing it day in and day out, bringing the truth and bringing critical and independent thought to Twitch. It's the good fight. It's a tough fight, but it's a good fight. Correct, guess, yep. Good, Jay Brown. Yeah, I wish I would have been in gold stocks all year. Right, right. The source told CNN a personal lawyer for Biden was closing out the downtown D.C. office that Biden used as part of his work with the University of Pennsylvania. The lawyer saw a manila folder that was labeled personal, opened the envelope, and noticed there were classified documents inside. The lawyer closed the envelope and called NARA. After making contact with NARA, Biden's team turned over several boxes in an abundance of caution, even though many of the boxes contained personal materials. Biden said Tuesday he did not know that some classified documents had been taken out of his private office, that he'd left the VP, and that his attorneys did what they should have done by immediately calling the National Archives. I was surprised to learn there were any government records that were taken there to that office. The documents were found in a box, a locked cabinet, or at least a closet. People know I take classified documents, classified information seriously. Really? How do we know that, Biden? How do we know that you take classified documents seriously? Oh, dude, okay TV. Take it from me. I've been streaming on Twitch for 7 or 8 years, and I've never even had so much as a temporary suspension, never even had a warning, never been banned, nothing. No strikes, nothing. You need to go and you need to read the Twitch terms of service and the Twitch community guidelines, and you need to go read the Twitch blogs about it, and you need to go read all the stories about every Twitch streamer that's been banned, and you got to be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. I like to think that I'm the most conservative streamer on Twitch. And I would defend that claim any day of the week. And there's some things I don't talk about and I won't talk about. There's a couple of very specific topics that leftists do not allow open debate and open discussion about, so I just avoid those topics entirely. Good questions, Guess. Good questions. Right, Guess. Yep. U.S. Attorney submitted preliminary findings to Garland. Lausch has already completed the initial part of his inquiry, provided his preliminary findings to Garland. That means Garland now must decide how to proceed. Garland was also personally involved in some of the key decision-making related to the Trump documents investigation and the decision to send the FBI to search Mar-a-Lago. In the Trump matter, Garland tapped special counsel Jack Smith to take over both the criminal investigation into Trump's post-2020 election activities and the inquiry into classified documents the former president had taken to his Florida resort. The Biden probe is nowhere near that stage. Garland chose to have Lausch conduct the Biden docs investigation because he is one of the 2 remaining Trump-appointed U.S. attorneys and to avoid the appearance of conflict of interest because he wasn't appointed by Biden. So Garland, who was appointed by Biden, appoints a non-Biden appointee to give a report to Garland, who was appointed by Biden, to say there's no conflict. Dude, they need to have a special counsel for this if they want to avoid the appearance of corruption and conflicts of interest. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, me and Grumple are good friends. Okay, TV. Yeah, me and Grumple go way back. Jay Brown. I believe that, Jay Brown. Jay Brown, you've barely skated by in this channel, Jay Brown. I 100% believe you've been banned everywhere. You've been nearly banned in this channel. And I have to ban people when they violate TOS, but otherwise I don't ban people. It is what I do best, right? I said Kyle Rittenhouse was a bigger hero than we realized as a reply to a post about him cleaning up graffiti and got banned. Wow. Did you ever... So I assume you got your account... This is like a temporary thing. Did they like force you to delete the tweet and then you got back on? I have thought that I've been shadow banned, Real Adversary. I do sometimes think that I've been shadow banned on Twitch. You know, it's because I haven't grown... My followers haven't grown in like the last couple years. I've been stuck at like 8,000 followers for like 2 years. And then, you know, what's interesting is like on Twitter, dude, I was like stuck at like 1,000 followers on Twitter, and then Elon Musk bought Twitter and changed some of the stuff. And I've been growing like mad on Twitter now. I've got like now over 3,000 followers on Twitter. So like I'm convinced that there's something going on that... But yet again, then sometimes people will come in onto my Twitch channel and tell me that they saw me in their recommended feed, so I don't really know. I just think that there's really not that many conservatives on Twitch. Cool, okay, cool. They made me delete the tweet, yeah. My first tweet afterwards was tweeting a screenshot of my post and saying it was correct. Oh, that's awesome. I know the Mar-a-Lago raid was done to the highest standards. I scored a pair of Melania's panties off eBay with a certificate of authenticity signed by Merrick Garland. Oh, man. Twitch is a liberal cesspool outside of your channel. I'm sure there are other conservatives, but I don't know where. Right, Jay Brown, right. That's what I think. I think that like pretty much most conservatives on Twitch have already found my channel, so but I still think that Twitch is... I hope that Twitch continues to grow. Sometimes I wonder if I'd do better on YouTube, but again, I've got an awesome community on Twitch and stuff, so I stay here. Because all you folks know how to find me here. Lausch is not expected to undertake additional fact-gathering. In an awkward moment Monday, Garland was sitting alongside Biden at a diplomatic summit in Mexico while reporters shouted questions about the probe. Both men ignored the questions. Wow. Wow. Lausch was one of the rare Trump holdovers who wasn't told to resign after Biden's inauguration in 2021. The two Democrat senators supported keeping him on because he was handling the politically sensitive investigation of Michael Madigan, former Democrat Illinois House Speaker, indicted on corruption charges. Wow, dude. Wow. So in other words, this guy was paid off, basically, is what I'm understanding. The fact that the guy that's investigating Biden is the one Trump holdover that the Democrats really liked and wanted to stay involved, and all because he was investigating a Democrat for corruption, that tells me that this guy's most likely corrupted. Dude, I've never heard of this guy. Michael Madigan, an American politician, former Speaker of the Illinois House, longest serving leader of any state or federal legislative body in the history of the U.S., having held the position for all but 2 years from 1983 to 2021. Wow, dude. Served in the Illinois House from 1971 to 2021. 50 years, dude? This guy served 50 years in the Illinois House. I only found you today and I had to literally search the conservative tag. Oh, good. Okay. Well, at least you found me by searching the conservative tag. That's great. You could do a couple test runs on YouTube or Rumble. I could, Altair, yeah. Does your partner contract keep you from simul streaming on Twitch and YouTube? Yes, Fatormophitis, although I'm not even a partner. I'm an affiliate. But yeah, you're not supposed to stream on multiple platforms at one time. I wouldn't want to anyway, just because I just think it would be too big of a pain in the butt to try to read chat on multiple sites at the same time and having multiple different chat conversations going. Sounds like YouTube hates conservatives. I hear complaints about them all the time from the conservatives I follow there. Oh, for sure, Sergeant. That's the other thing, Sergeant. It's like, what am I going to do? Leave Twitch just to go to YouTube? Like, YouTube is probably going to shadow ban me even worse. Rockfin is good for conservative voices. I'm not exactly sure how it is set up user-wise. I watched David Knight on there. He doesn't pull any punches. Might look into it. Thank you, Jay Brown. Look who claim to be Republicans on Twitch. The Grifter Connor points. New professional debate bro Sprouticus. The low-hanging fruit who will say anything just to get on debates. Right. Maybe I'll just start posting. I think I might start posting my streams onto YouTube. Anyway. Portland Andy streams on several platforms at the same time. That's the only one I know that does it. I think a lot of people do it. I know other streamers do it, but it's just I don't think it's allowed. That'd be amazing guess. That'd be amazing guess. Chicago magazine named Madigan as the fourth most powerful Chicagoan in 2012 and the second in 2013 and 2014, earning him the nickname the Velvet Hammer, the real governor of Illinois. Rich Miller, editor of Illinois Political Newsletter, wrote, "The pile of political corpses outside Madigan's State House door of those who tried to beat him one way or another is a mile high and a mile wide." On January 11th, 2021, Madigan announced he'd be suspending his effort to be elected to a 19th term as Speaker of the Illinois House. He was replaced by fellow Democrat. Michigan announced he'd resign as state rep. On March 2nd, 2022, Madigan was indicted on federal racketeering charges. Wow, dude. Look at this, dude. So this is like literally like one of the main Democrats to ever have nobody's heard of this guy, dude. This is insane. So you literally have the longest serving political leader in the country, one of the most powerful Democrats in Illinois. And he's been indicted for corruption and nobody has heard of it. Ex-House Speaker Michael Madigan, long the state's most powerful poll, indicted on federal racketeering charges. Former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan, for decades the most powerful politician in the state, was indicted Wednesday on federal racketeering charges alleging his elected office and political operation were a criminal enterprise that provided personal financial rewards for him and his associates. This is Democrat corruption. The guy has literally been indicted for Democrat corruption, and nobody has heard a word about this. This is unbelievable, man. Agreed, guess. Agreed. The 22-count indictment returned by a federal grand jury comes after a years-long federal investigation alleges Madigan participated in an array of bribery and extortion schemes from 11 to 19 aimed at using the power of his office for personal gain. The long-awaited charges punctuate a stunning downfall for Madigan, the longest-serving leader of any legislative chamber in the nation, who held an ironclad grip on the state legislature as well as the Democrat Party and its political spoils. He was dethroned as Speaker in early 21 as the investigation swirled around him and soon after resigned the House seat he'd held since 1971. Both Madigan and his attorneys denied the allegations in written statements Wednesday and said they intended to fight them in court. Also charged in the indictment was Madigan's longtime confidant, Michael McLean, a former state legislator and lobbyist who is facing separate charges alleging he orchestrated a bribery scheme. You know what's so funny about this is that this basically proves that politics is not all nice and wonderful and there's no corruption and there's no wrongdoing. You know, it's amazing. It's hilarious that Democrats actually think there's no corruption in Illinois politics. Unbelievable, man. It's amazing. I'm just kind of reading and browsing and you find this stuff and it's almost 100% proof that we're right and we have been right on everything. Sorry, guys. Let me catch up on chat. Illinois, say no more, right? He's the guy that took down Rod Blagojevich. Amazing guess. That's incredible. Democrats being corrupt isn't exactly news. Nope. What city is he out of? I don't know. I live in Illinois, haven't heard till just... Are you serious, Grasshopper? Are you serious, Grasshopper? You're in Illinois and you haven't heard of this? Holy crap. I know Madigan, met him. His daughter Lisa is now a mover and shaker. Illinois can make Louisiana and now Juicy Butch out over corruption. Several governors have gone to prison. Right, Fator, right. Vike is in the house. What's up, Vike? You got a link for me? Thank you, sir. I'll check it out. Good article. All right. He represents, wait for it, you'll never guess, Chicago. Yeah, no surprise. Gry Wolf, what's up? I live in the state. Obama was part of this, but he'll take the fall. Of course, Gry Wolf, of course. Of course. No doubt. At least there's never any voting fraud anywhere. The U.S. has the most secure voting system in the world. Right? Dude, that's the exact thing. It's like, oh, guys, there's no. There's no voting chart. Oh, never mind the fact that the most powerful Democrat, longest serving Democrat in any legislative chamber ever in the entire United States just got indicted on federal racketeering charges. No, nobody would ever do anything wrong in politics. No. It won't be reported, so the DNC can fund an academic study to report on political corruption, but if it's not reported, it won't make it in the study. They can then say the DNC is not corrupt. Yep. Oh, Victor Davis Hanson. I love Victor Davis Hanson. Syrian Gecko. What's up, Gecko? Can't say this time I have to go to a party. Hope you have a good stream, though. Just wanted to say hello. Thank you, Gecko. Appreciate it, man. Have fun. The coup we never knew. We are beginning to wake up from a nightmare to a country we no longer recognize and from a coup we never knew. Did someone or something seize control of the U.S.? What happened to the U.S. border? Where did it go? Who erased it? Why and how did 5 million people enter our country illegally? Did Congress secretly repeal our immigration laws? Did Joe Biden issue an executive order allowing foreign nationals to walk across the border and reside in the United States as they pleased? Since when did money not have to be paid back? Who insisted that the more dollars the federal government printed, the more prosperity would follow? When did America embrace zero interest? Why do we believe $30 trillion in debt is no big deal? When did clean burning, cheap, abundant natural gas become the equivalent to dirty coal? How did prized natural gas that had granted America's wishes of energy self-sufficiency, reduced pollution, inexpensive electricity become almost overnight a pariah fuel whose extraction was a war against nature? Which lawmakers, which laws, which votes of the people declared natural gas development in pipelines near criminal? Was it not against federal law to swarm the homes of Supreme Court justices, to pick and to intimidate their households in efforts to affect their rulings? How then, with impunity, did bullies surround the homes of Justices Brett Kavanaugh, Sam Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, John Roberts, and Clarence Thomas, furious over a court decision on abortion? How could these mobs so easily throng our justices' homes with placards declaring "off with their blank"? Since when did Americans create a government ministry of truth, and on whose orders did the FBI contract private news organizations to censor stories it did not like and writers whom it feared? How did we wake up one morning to new customs of impeaching a president over a phone call, of the Speaker of the House tearing up the State of the Union address on national TV, of barring congressional members from serving on their assigned congressional committees? When did we assume the FBI had the right to subvert the campaign of a candidate it disliked? Was it legal suddenly for one presidential candidate to hire a foreign ex-spy to subvert the campaign of a rival? Was some state or federal law passed that allowed biological males to compete in female sports? Did Congress then enact such a law? Did the Supreme Court guarantee that biological male students could shower in gym locker rooms with biological women? Were women ever asked to redefine the very sports they'd championed? When did the government pass a law depriving Americans of their freedom during a pandemic? In America, can health officials simply cancel rental contracts or declare loan payments in suspension? How could it become illegal for mom and pop stores to sell flowers or shoes during a quarantine, but not so for Walmart or Target? Since when did people decide that 70% of voters would not cast their ballots on Election Day? Was this revolutionary change the subject of a national debate, a heated congressional session, or the votes of dozens of state legislatures? What happened to election night returns? Did the fact that Americans created more electronic ballots and computerized tallies make it so much longer to tabulate the votes? When did the nation abruptly decide that theft is not a crime, assault not a felony? How can thieves walk out with bags of stolen goods without the wrath of angry shoppers, much less fear of the law? Was there ever a national debate about the terrified flight from Afghanistan? Who planned it and why? What happened to the once trusted FBI? Why almost overnight did its directors decide to mislead Congress, to deceive judges with concocted tales from fake dossiers and with doctored writs? Did Congress pass a law that our federal leaders in the FBI or CIA could lie with impunity under oath? Who defined our military and with whose consent? Who proclaimed that our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff could call his Chinese communist counterpart to warn him America's president was unstable? Was it always true that retired generals routinely libeled their commander-in-chief as a near-Nazi, a Mussolini, an adherent of the tools of Auschwitz? Were Americans ever asked whether their universities could discriminate against their sons and daughters based on race? How did it become physically dangerous to speak the truth on campus? Whose idea was it to reboot racial segregation and bias as theme houses, safe spaces, and diversity? How did that happen in America? How did a virus cancel the Constitution? Did the lockdowns rob us of our sanity? Or was it the woke hysteria that ignited our collective madness? We are beginning to wake up from a nightmare to a country we no longer recognize and from a coup we never knew. Holy cow. What an article. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that, Vike. Really appreciate you sharing that. Wow. Wow. Maybe I'll tweet out a quote from this and give credit to Man, the whole thing is good. I can't pull out a pull quote. Wow, what an article, man. What a fantastic article. Thanks for sharing that, Mike. Amen. Galaxy One. What's up, Galaxy One? Fatormophitis. This is fire. Amen. DOJ needs to be purged and cleaned out. In my opinion, that's where it all starts. The inmates are running the prison. I hope the HFC concessions go the way of this church subcommittee. Right? Link, please. Oh shoot! I just dropped it. It's on American Greatness, Galaxy. Go to American Greatness. It's a recent article by Victor Davis Hanson. That was a good one. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the whole thing is good. Tough to single one out. Right. Oh, there's the link. Mike's got it for you. Dude, Michael Madigan, man. Oh, here's the recent article. Oh, here's the most recent article on this punk Michael Madigan, this dirtball. The same alleged scheme forms the backbone of the indictment returned Wednesday, outlining a plan by the utility giant to pay thousands of dollars to lobbyists favored by Madigan in order to win his influence over legislation the company wanted passed in Springfield. The indictment also accused Madigan of illegally soliciting business for his private property tax law firm during discussions to turn a state-owned parcel of land in Chinatown into a commercial development. Though the land deal never was consummated, it's been a source of continued interest for federal investigators who in 2020 subpoenaed Madigan's office for records and communications he'd had with key players. Then Alderman Daniel Solis, who was recently cooperating with the investigation, recorded numerous conversations with Madigan as part of the Chinatown land probe, including one where the speaker told Solis he was looking for a colleague to sponsor a House bill approving the land sale. I have to find out about who would be the proponent in the House, Madigan said. We got to find the appropriate person for that. I have to think it through. The indictment alleged Madigan met with J.B. Pritzker in December 18 in part to discuss a lucrative state board position for Solis, ostensibly as a reward for helping Madigan win law business. Before that meeting, Solis allegedly recorded Madigan telling him the speaker's communication with Pritzker did not need to be in writing. I can just verbally tell him, Madigan said. Of course, dude. Of course. Criminals know not to put stuff in writing. When you're engaging in quid pro quo corruption, you don't put it in writing. And Democrats are very, very good at that. That's why a lot of the times we don't have evidence of the Democrats' corruption is because they don't put it in writing. They just do it verbally. What's up with Biden banning gas stoves? Where did he get this power? Same place he got the power to shut the country down or mandate vaccines or prevent people from coming here without the vaccine. In other words, nowhere. He doesn't have it. No, what they're doing, Vike, they want to ban gas stoves because it's racial justice, which is so stupid. Like they're saying that natural gas stoves give off toxic fumes and cancerous fumes from natural gas stoves, and that this hurts racial minorities the most. And I'm just sitting here thinking, really? Because it's actually higher income folks that have the natural gas stoves. When I was poor, like I always had electric stoves. It wasn't until I finally got a nice house that I had a natural gas stove. I've always had an electric stove when I was poor. Just so you know, Madigan's buddy, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, is said to be running it if Brandon doesn't run in 24, or VP if he dumps Really? What good would that do? What good would J.B. Pritzker do? Isn't he a white guy? There's not a chance in hell that Biden replaces his black female VP for a white guy. They're way too dyed-in-the-wool into identity politics. I have an induction stove. Nice. Is propane okay? Who knows, Jim Barr? Probably not. No. Dude, it's another thing. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. They want to ban gas stoves and they want to ban gas vehicles, and yet we don't have the electricity to even run the current grid, and they have no plans to replace the electricity. What does that tell you they really want? What does that tell you what they really want? Amazing, dude. So this Thomas Madigan guy is a corrupt POS, dude. Here's the latest on him. Former Speaker Michael Madigan's racketeering trial set for April 2024. Madigan is accused of leading a criminal enterprise for nearly a decade designed to enhance his political power and generate income for his allies and associates. He ended his record-breaking tenure as Illinois' House Speaker amid the burgeoning scandal 2 years ago. Wow. Illinois Democrat Michael Madigan here's my tweet, guys. One of the most powerful Democrats in America, the longest-serving leader of any legislative body in the history of America, Illinois Democrat Michael Madigan, soon to go on trial for federal racketeering charges for running a decades-long criminal enterprise. Anybody heard? No? Twitter tried to tell me that there's something wrong with me saying Democrat Michael Madigan. I'm sure they don't like it. It's Democratic Michael Madigan. He's. Oh yeah, we were gonna watch. Oh, did I not even finish? Oh, dude, I didn't even finish the stupid Prince Harry video. Let's quick finish
Even
this.
the family business is to worry about. They live in Montecito, California, where they bought a home for over $14 million. And there was the small task of paying the Crown back the estimated $3 million it cost to renovate Frogmore Cottage in Windsor. Harry and Meghan lived there after they were married, until their move to the US. Leaving the family business, so to speak, has opened up a world of new opportunities for the couple, but their sources of revenue are less secure. At least King Charles III has a guaranteed income from his property estates and public funding. Representatives for the Duke and Duchess didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. It is possible Harry and Meghan will need to continue making commercial deals to sustain their lifestyle.
Oh wow, white collar recession. White collar recession. I've been hearing more and more about this, guys, about how it's all the white collar jobs that are going to get nailed in this recession, and construction workers and tradesmen and stuff are going to be just fine. It's going to be all the white collar workers that get laid off.
Ford, Pepsi, and more from Amazon. These are just a few of the companies that have said they were starting big layoffs in the last year. Some job cuts are expected when the economy hits a rough patch. But this is different. Not because of the number of people being laid off, but because of who.
We're seeing a really unusual situation where white-collar workers, professionals, are being laid off in greater numbers relative to the rest of the workforce.
Here's why white-collar jobs are getting cut first, and why that's a departure from slowdowns in the past. Ever since this wave of job cuts started last year, experts have said that this downturn could spell trouble for professional workers.
This recession is going to be really bad, not only for white-collar workers, but white Patagonia-vested workers.
But to understand why those cuts are happening, we have to go back even further. to the beginning of the pandemic. As the economy went into crisis mode, layoffs hit a lot of industries. But ones that are not predominantly white-collar were some of the most affected. Entertainment and leisure, and retail, which hire a lot of low-wage and frontline staff, made up most of the job cuts in the first 7 months of 2020.
In-person workplaces, everybody got sent home. And so you had a lot of white-collar workers who could do the kinds of jobs that companies still needed in great quantity. And companies like Zoom boomed, companies like Google and Microsoft, suddenly their products were in much greater demand.
As the economy started to recover, some industries saw the average number of employees grow from pre-pandemic levels, while others, especially those with frontline workers, grew only a little bit or were left at a deficit. But as employers are now making job cuts amid rising interest rates, they're facing two major problems. For some, it's an excess of white-collar workers who may have been hired for special projects or company expansions during the pandemic.
Some of those projects have been closed or pulled back or narrowed. And so companies that hired a lot during the pandemic are just finding they don't need as many people.
But elsewhere, there's an unmet demand for workers, namely in blue-collar, low-wage, and frontline jobs.
It feels like we have a structural labor shortage out there where there are, 4 million fewer people, a little more than 4 million, who are in the workforce available to work than there's demand for workforce.
The Fed says the shortage has multiple causes. Some of it is due to more people going into retirement, but other factors like slowing immigration are also playing a role. Some economists also say that mindsets about work have shifted amid COVID-19 for these workers. If we look back at that change in employees on payroll, some of the industries that have had a harder time recovering are ones that a lot of workers didn't return to.
And companies don't want to risk being unable to fill important jobs as the economy.
Tickles, what's up?
So they're being careful about keeping those workers. Some people call it labor hoarding. They're actually
Audi Glaze, you got a link for me? Thanks, Audi Glaze. I'll check that out.
holding on to these people, trying to keep them from leaving, even if they don't need them all right now.
As hiring has started to slow.
You do pro-law? You do pro-law? Why? Why? Wait, I can't believe you guys white Patagonia. Dude, Patagonia vests are like the cliche, like, finance guy in New York City. Just so cliche. Just so cliche. Plus, Patagonia is a hard... Actually, I have a Patagonia sweatshirt that I like, but I don't wear Patagonia vests. Come on, guys. Come on. I wear Carhartt vests.
Ads for jobs in white-collar industries have fallen the most. And as for layoffs...
White-collar workers are there, they're paid more, so job cuts can save you more money with fewer people. And you don't risk giving up those hard-to-find frontline workers that you're going to need when the economy improves.
But this breaks from the norm of what has happened in many other economic slowdowns. Usually...
First, capital-intensive industries lay people off, factories and construction companies. Then you see companies with large, low-wage workforces, retailers, hospitality companies, restaurants, and hotels. And only later, as the economy really starts to slow and as a recession looms or kicks in, are professional workers and white-collar workers usually laid off.
Just look at the recession in the early 1980s.
Interesting.
Where blue-collar workers made up 75% of layoffs.
Nice. Yeah, Prola, I've got a branded Eddie Bauer vest.
It's few and far between. Jobs are hard to come by. How about you? You hiring?
And even more recently, in 2007, just before the start of the Great Recession, blue-collar industries like construction and manufacturing were some of the first to start losing jobs. By the end of 2008, when mass layoffs were gaining steam, industries that are not predominantly white-collar were some that had the most job cut announcements. That's excluding finance, which was in a crisis.
So the classic model we've seen over the past 30 to 40 years is that when companies see a slowdown coming, they shed workers. They figure, we can always hire them back once business picks up again. But that didn't happen after the pandemic.
But even if white-collar workers are mostly affected by this downturn, they don't typically stay unemployed for long. The majority of tech workers who were laid off this year landed a new job within 3 months of starting their search.
Some smaller companies are finding it easier to hire now because, there's more people on the market. So just because there's a lot of layoffs doesn't mean no one's hiring.
Despite the layoffs, the job market remains strong by historical standards. The Fed is still looking for it to cool further.
The economists I've spoken with expect more layoffs. They don't expect it to be like in the financial crisis when you saw pretty widespread layoffs. But they do expect layoffs to spread.
Good for you, Tickles. Good for you.
From tech and the white collar to other areas where the economy may slow down next.
Some economists say that layoffs could become more precisely targeted at underperformers as companies try to hold on to their most valuable employees.
Well, that's how it should be. Of course. Of course. What's this one about? Oh, McCarthy. This one's about McCarthy's uphill battle. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, the only layoffs I've heard of is tech companies. That's the only. I mean, in all of the news that I've been following.
100 in the next.
Literally, all the news that I've been following, the only layoffs I've heard so far is of big tech workers. So I don't know. I know that we're still. I mean, I think the labor market is still pretty tight for lawyers. There's not like tons and tons of lawyers that are good, high quality lawyers that we could hire right now. I know that. I mean, I know. I wonder if I need to update my NVIDIA drivers. So I don't know. We'll see. Frankly, I think the economy is too top heavy on white collar workers, and we do need more construction workers and tradesmen and plumbers and electricians. And so it would make perfect sense to me that if we're going to have a big nasty recession, that it would be white collar workers that get hit the hardest. Sergeant Buzzkill, I worked for Levi's for 30 plus years. Always had too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Lots of upper level management with fluke degrees and no. Is that right, Sergeant Buzzkill? I didn't know that. That's awesome, man. Good for you. Very cool. I'd be curious to learn more about that, Sergeant Buzzkill. I'd be interested to hear more about your experience there. Jeffrey's speech the other night was full of lies and propaganda so bad. I kept hearing about it, Vike. I was gonna watch the whole thing, Vike, because people have been telling me about Jeffrey's speech and how just divisive and toxic it was, which, no surprise, that's how Joe Biden was too. I think I did, Pro. I've seen some of these bad lip reading ones. They're funny.
What does it go for, Bill? Can you say it? Well, who knows? A really rich doctor said you were a bummer. And I think you don't know algebra. No, we're talking science, bud. The science of what? Is that a tiger? One of your friends promised me I could flick you in your face. Absolutely, you may not do that.
Hit him in his cringy smirk, for real.
Say any cereal name. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You're like people in the 12th century. Why'd he say it like that? You're a formulated pickle popper.
He's a storm cloud.
I don't like you, dude. And there's a tiger. Oh, that's it. You two guys sent the tiger.
I did
No.
not me.
What
I mean,
tiger? That's. that is reprehensible.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Brad,
I'm a horrible person.
Brad, I'll report you to Nadine. I just want your leg bones to be okay. I brought the tiger.
Dude, they've been making great bad lip readings. They've been doing a great job with those. Absolutely hilarious. Okay, so this is Healthy Zero Carbon Cities. This is a link that's, I can't remember who sent this link, that's saying this is what they're using to justify banning gas. RMI? Never even heard of this. Climate change threatens not only our environment but also our health. Poor indoor and outdoor air quality is a direct result of fossil fuels we burn. 92% of global population lives with unhealthy air. How are humans surviving, guys? We're all going to die. How are we all not dying out? 92% of us have unhealthy air. Well, I guess humans must be pretty good at surviving and adapting. Good in the beginning, slowly went downhill with wokeness over time. I'm sure, Sergeant. Yep. Oh, did I miss the best part, Sergeant? I thought I'd seen that already. Dude, yeah, I guess. Eggs are the new Bitcoin. Eggs are the new Bitcoin. All right. I missed the. I swear I'd seen this. I don't remember the end of it being the best, but well, let me flip to the
For
end.
dinner. You're gonna no. You got somebody on the organ now? Hey man, you're gonna pay for dinner. You're gonna no.
That's good. That's good. Helping cities go renewable, creating healthier buildings, transforming urban mobility, clearing the air in China, supporting zero carbon cities, catalyzing U.S. city climate commitments. Who's joining? Dude, these people look psychopathic. RMI, Energy Transformed. These people look like psychopaths, dude, and they're totally acting like they're do-gooders. Wow. Anyway, I was still literally okay. So this is so interesting. Okay, we took a little detour on Michael Madigan because the U.S. attorney going after Biden is the same guy going after Michael Madigan that the Illinois Democrat senators supported. He was handling the politically sensitive investigation of Michael Madigan. Is it an investigation or is it's a prosecution at this point? He's been indicted. Like, why is CNN running cover for Michael Madigan? The politically sensitive investigation the investigation's over. He's been indicted. He's set for trial. This is a prosecution now. There's an investigation of Michael Madigan. Political consequences. Dude, wow. CNN literally made this meme, dude. CNN literally made this partisan hack meme that people were spreading online, literally trying to point out how Joe Biden is so much better than Trump. Wow. The turn of events with classified documents found that Biden's former office has forced some politicians into a tough spot. Trump responded with the spate of social media posts lampooning Biden and publicly egging on the FBI to search Biden's offices in the White House for mishandled documents. Key Democrats on Capitol Hill expressed confidence in Biden's handling of government materials, even though classified records turned up in a place where they weren't supposed to be. Newly empowered House Republicans already pledged to broaden their oversight probes to include the Biden documents. Some are eyeing NARA as a target of additional scrutiny. James Comer, Kentucky Republican who chairs the House Oversight Committee, swiftly sent letters to the White House counsel's office and the National Archives. Among the requests made in the letters were all documents retrieved from Biden's personal office where the classified documents were found, a list of people who had access to that office, all documents and communications between the White House, DOJ, and National Archives regarding the documents that were retrieved, all documents and communications related to the handling of classified material by Biden's personal lawyers, including their security clearance statuses. The Kentucky Republican asked the documents and other info be turned over no later than January 24th, and that NARA General Counsel Gary Stern and NARA Director of Congressional Affairs John Hamilton be made available for transcribed interviews with committee staff. Also Tuesday, the new GOP chair of the House Intel Committee asked the Director of National Intelligence to conduct a damage assessment for the classified records. Wow, dude. Biden, what a joke, dude. Former Speaker Michael Madigan's racketeering trial set for April 2024. Madigan accused of leading a criminal enterprise. The highly anticipated racketeering trial. Highly anticipated? It's been covered up. This is a total cover-up, dude. And I blame myself for not even knowing about this until today. This is highly anticipated at this point. This is a huge deal. This Michael Madigan scumbag, one of the most powerful Democrats in the country, one of the longest-serving, most powerful Democrats in the country, going on trial for running a political criminal enterprise for decades, and nobody's heard of it. Has anybody heard of this Michael Madigan trial? Maybe a couple of you guys have actually heard of this before today, but boy, has the media done a good job of covering this up. Boy, you got to keep your ears peeled and your eyes open to catch these kinds of stories. Holy cow, man. I didn't even hear about that guy from conservative sources. None. Exactly, Tickles. How have we not heard about this? This is one of the most powerful, longest-serving Democrats in America that's been running a corrupt political criminal enterprise for decades, and nobody's heard about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I've heard of him, but can't remember exactly what. Probably this and probably from David Knight. Wow. Well, we're going to be talking about him here quite a bit, man. Here we go. Let's do a little GOP war room clips. Biden claims he was a professor for 4 years after being VP. He didn't teach a single class.
They set up an office for me, secure office in the Capitol. The 4 years after being vice president, I was a professor at Penn.
Biden says he was a professor at Penn for 4 years. He didn't teach a single class. What, dude? What is Biden talking about?
They set up an office for me, secure office in the Capitol. The 4 years after being vice president, I was a professor at Penn.
Dude, what? Biden captivated by planes flying overhead as Mexican president talks about destroying fentanyl labs.
Of those chemical substances, and we are destroying labs. The Navy Secretariat is in charge.
Oh, man. The rise and fall of the Boeing 747, 20-minute documentary. Oh, man, that's probably pretty dang good. Biden in Mexico. I want the record to show I didn't know what questions I didn't answer. Huh?
I want the record to show I don't know what questions I didn't answer. I'm prepared later. Thank you very much.
First of all, Biden, there is no record. Oh, shit, Justin Trudeau is there? Oh, this is a who's who of scumbags. Dude, this Mexican president, I read an article in Foreign Affairs magazine this last month about how this Mexican president, this leftist socialist type Mexican president has destroyed democracy in Mexico and is returning Mexico to the sort of authoritarian one-party rule that existed for decades and decades until the PRI got thrown out of office in like 2000. Big long academic piece in Foreign Affairs about how this Mexican president, he's a leftist, has been destroying democracy and, cracking down on political opponents, that kind of a thing.
I want the record to show I don't know what questions I didn't answer. I'm prepared later. Thank you very much.
Down the front.
Dude, Biden is such an embarrassment, dude. What an embarrassment. Joe Biden on his open border policies trying to make it easier for people to get here. Did he really say that?
And so we're trying to make it easier for people to get here, opening up the capacity to get here.
What? Lecture, do you ever watch Don't Walk Run Productions on YouTube? He just did a video on Biden's lying, and it's excellent. No, I haven't, Sergeant Buzzkill. Yeah, link it. Let me check it out.
This is Joe Biden, the President of the United States. On January 6th, 2022, during a ceremony at the White House, Biden went off script.
If I can halt for a second and just say to you, the impact what happened on July the 6th had international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand.
Oh, it is, Tickles. Foreign Affairs is very left-leaning. Now, Foreign Affairs is an academic journal, Tickles, so it has conservative pieces in it because it's an academic journal, because it'll publish people from the right and the left, but it's mostly international relations focused, and 99% of IR scholars are leftist. But But international relations is interesting, Tickles, because it's not the same as sort of our domestic American political lens. I got interested in reading foreign affairs when I was an undergrad. I studied international relations. In fact, I majored in international relations. I studied abroad twice. I've traveled to over 20 foreign countries. So I'm really interested in that kind of stuff. But no, it'll have some good stuff. It'll have some good stuff every once in a while. Is this the FA? Yeah, this is probably it. Yeah. Mexico's dying democracy. Yes, this is it. This is exactly it, Tickles. This is the exact article. I subbed to foreign affairs for years, but gave it up about 5 years ago. Oh, really, Tickles? Why'd you give it up, man? Why'd you give it up? Jay Brown, you got a link for me? But yeah, no, this is it. Mexico's dying democracy. AMLO is how the Mexican president's referred, and the toll of authoritarian populism. Mexico's dying democracy. Yeah, this is it. This was a really good article. This is a super good article. I thought. Denise Dresser. But yeah, I read this. I get the physical magazine, so I like to read the physical magazine of Foreign Affairs. But yeah, this article, if you guys have Foreign Affairs, is really good. This talks about how this leftist authoritarian in Mexico is basically destroying Mexican democracy. Ryan Cunningham. I'm unable to follow more people at this time. Well, that sucks. Pin tweet. I got the COVID vax before most people could as healthcare provider, an emergency manager implementing many of the policies of the COVIDians. Days after, I was transported to the hospital with cardiac issue. Today, I'm in heart failure. Wow, dude. That is so sad, man. From working out twice a day and lean to my heart jumping to 160 BPM sitting still, my endocrine system is now gone. My weight gain is 70 plus pounds. Serious question for the doctors and homeopathic providers. What are your suggested remedies and supplements? Non-medical advice, of course. That's insane, man. That is so horrible. That's so sad. Goku Games. What's up, Goku Games? What's your take on Boebert and Gates holding out on McCarthy so long? Goku Games, I think it was a success. Goku Games, and I don't know if you've been following this I don't know if you've been watching me the last couple of weeks, but I was always kind of saying like, hey, it's gonna depend on how this thing turns out in the end and how it resolves. And frankly, I think the concessions they got from McCarthy are good. I support the things that they're doing, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it hurts the Republicans or the conservative cause, so I think it ended well. Yeah, for sure, Tickles. It is. There is a lot of negative Trump and pro-Democrat stuff, for sure. So, Tickles, what do you like the physical magazines then, Tickles? Do you like the physical magazines? Because I do The Economist and Foreign Affairs mainly because I just really like to have the physical news magazines. I like to read the physical magazines, and there's just not a lot of good I guess conservative magazines. There are some. I mean, there is I get Reason magazine is pretty good. The American Conservative is okay. But there's nothing that's really super high quality like The Economist or Foreign Affairs that's from a conservative perspective that I'm aware of. Do you know of any good ones? I mostly only read physical magazines other than the online articles I print out. Okay, what do you subscribe to then, Tickles? What magazines do you subscribe to? No, Grasshopper, we will never know. Nope.
Understand.
Oh, right, July 6th. That's the anniversary of the bombing of the Georgia Guidestones. Rest in peace, America.
Oh, City Journal? City Journal does a physical magazine? Maybe I'll sign up for that one. I like that one. I like City Journal, but it's an urban affairs thing, and so like being in Montana, like urban affairs is kind of the last thing that I need. Maybe I'll pick this up though. This looks good. I do like City Journal. Maybe I'll pick this up. Okay, that's a good one. Thank you.
American Stonehenge.
What else you got?
But of course,
TLS, what's up, TLS? You got a link for me? What you got? This pass brought to you by Pfizer's Population Control Division. Get your toaster. Oh, man. Guess has got a link for me. Thank you, Guess. Oh, this is from RNC Research. This is probably on the GOP War Room channel as well. Thank you, Guess. Course not, Vike. Course not. Claremont Review of Books. That is it right now. Oh, wow. Okay. Right on. Is Claremont Review of Books, is it mostly book reviews or what?
In 2018, Joe Biden addressed his access to classified information in an interview with me. This was in the context of Russia's interference in U.S. elections, and it was in that office, the Penn Biden Center.
I don't have access to classified information anymore. I don't get briefed every morning by the agency, as I did for 8 years.
In 2018, Joe Biden addressed his access to classified information in an interview with me. This was in the context of Russia's interference in U.S. elections, and it was in that office, the Penn Biden Center.
I don't have access to classified information anymore. I don't get briefed every morning by the agency, as I did for 8 years.
In 20...
Wow. Wow. What a little liar scumbag.
He meant to say January 6th. But watch this guy's reaction when Biden screwed it up.
The impact, what happened on July the 6th, had international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand.
That's awesome, Tickles. Very
From
cool,
there,
Tickles.
Biden went on to tell a tale about how world leaders saw the United States after witnessing the events of July 6th. I mean January 6th.
The first meeting I had of what they call the G7, the 7 leading economies in the world, democracies, I sat down. It was in February. It was in England.
No, stupid. It was in June, not February. But whatever, who cares about details?
And I sat next to the president of France, across from the chancellor from Germany, etc. And I said, America's back. You know what the response was? Not a joke. For how long? For how long?
And if you know anything about Joe Biden, when he says not a joke, it means he's lying.
And I just sat there and looked.
True.
And I believe it was the Prime Minister of Italy who said, but I can't remember for certain which of the 6 said it. And what would you think?
Yeah, I am, Tickles. I am. I'm trying to read more books, frankly. So yeah, I am. And in fact, Tickles, Foreign Affairs at the end of the magazine has a big section reviewing new books. Of course, focused on international relations again, but I always enjoy that section.
Mr. President, if tomorrow you woke up and you have a headline in the press saying that in the British Parliament, a mob had come down the hall, broken down the doors of the House of Commons, police officers were killed or died, the place was vandalized in order to overthrow the election of a Speaker of the House, a Prime Minister's election.
Okay, so during one of the most important meetings of his career, one of the 6 most powerful leaders in the world supposedly rattled off this long anecdote about January 6th, and Joe Biden can't remember who said it.
Think about it. Think about it.
Furthermore, Biden is comparing a federal election where millions of Americans vote for president with the election of the British Prime Minister, an election that doesn't exist. For clarity, voters do not choose the Prime Minister. The political party that wins the most seats in the House of Commons at a general election usually forms the new government. Its leader is then appointed Prime Minister by the monarch, i.e. the king. But again, who cares about small details? Anyway, as the top senior political analyst on YouTube, an unfortunate part of my job is that I have to watch every single Joe Biden speech, ceremony, event, etc. And with that said, I can tell you that Biden has told this story in public at least 30 times. And I thought it would be interesting to show how it's changed over the course of Joe Biden's residency. So Biden's story is in 2 parts. The response he received when he said, America is back, and the anecdote about January 6th and British Parliament, which we will
Okay, the bookmonger, Tickles. I'll subscribe to that on podcast right now.
Explore first.
And then I think it was Schultz, I'm not positive who the second one says, imagine, Joe, if in fact you went to bed tonight here in England, woke up in the morning and found out that the British Parliament was attacked. They killed 2 cops, broke down the doors of the Parliament, went into the House of Representatives to stop the House and to stop an election outcome. What would you think? What would you think?
Well, Joe, first, I think you just called the House of Commons the House of Representatives.
Went into the House of Representatives to stop the House.
Second, you said that German Chancellor Olaf Scholz was at your first G7 meeting. However, he wasn't Chancellor of Germany yet. That would be Angela Merkel. And it seems that Biden is confusing the two of them, because in the next clip, he refers to Scholz as a she.
And then I think it was Schultz of Germany, but I can't remember for certain. But one of them said to me, she said, Mr. President.
Blah, 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 blah.
I'm being deadly earnest now. I give my word this is what the discussion was.
Joe Biden's word is about as good as used toilet paper. So first he thought it was the Italian Prime Minister, then the German Chancellor, who wasn't Chancellor yet. Other times, he's claimed that it was French President Emmanuel Macron who said it. Now, there's no video or audio for the following examples, but we do have the official White House transcripts. And Macron looked to me and he said, "What would you say, Mr. President?" But at other times, he can't say for sure if it was actually Macron. And I think it was Macron who said to me from France. And at a reception on November 1st, Biden was really fuzzy on the details. And then, I think it was Macron who said to me, although it could have been Schultz said to me. And it happened again 3 days later. Here's what they said. It was either Schultz or, I can't remember, Boris that said it to me. Now, even though Biden had claimed on numerous occasions that it was either Macron or Scholz or Johnson that said it, there were random speeches in between where he wanted to keep it a mystery.
And I looked at them, and then another one went on to say, and I'm not going to name them, went on to say, what would you say, Joe?
And then one said, and I won't say who it was, but one of those heads of state looked at me and said, what would you say, Mr. President? And then one of them pointed out, without naming him, pointed out to me, what would you say, Mr. President? Why wouldn't he name names when he did in the past? Well, if I only had one guess, it would be that in those individual moments, he forgot all of the G7 leaders' names and which countries they're from. Hell, he can't even remember that Kamala Harris is the vice president.
I'm not being facetious. Well, President Harris led this effort.
President Harris.
I'll tell you one quick story. I showed up in February after I got elected in January. Got sworn in to the so-called G7. That's the 7 largest democratic economies in London.
No, it took place in Cornwall, which is roughly 250 miles away from London, and it was in June, not February. Again, details.
And I said, America's back. And one of the leaders looked at me and said, for how long? Oh, I'm serious. Think about it now.
And no, I'm serious. America is back, but for how long part of this BS? And what's revealing is how this alleged incident has evolved. In the early days of this tale, Biden was connecting it with things like American manufacturing or the economy. Here he is during a virtual meeting with governors talking about infrastructure investment.
You know what affects the attitude of the rest of the world about the United States? Can we still get things done? Not a joke. Not a joke. When I went over, I said, with those 7 leaders, I said, we're back. And the response was, for how long? For how long? You guys can't get anything done.
So obviously, that had nothing to do with democracy. It was about infrastructure and getting Congress to approve funding. That's it. Another example of this is when Biden gave remarks at a Mack truck assembly plant.
And that's why I've told every foreign leader, and I just got back from Europe meeting with heads of state, One said to me, I said, America's back. And he said, for how long? The head of state. And I said, you know, I want to tell you something. It's never, ever, ever been a good bet to bet against America. We never fail when we decide we're going to do something. So today, I'm placing my bet on America. I know you all are going to make sure it pays off, because it will pay off with good jobs, long-term employment, the ability for America to once again reassert its role as the most powerful economy in the world.
Right, Tickles?
Again,
right?
You can clearly see that this has nothing to do with January 6th or the so-called insurrection. But within a few months, Biden would take it and twist it like a pretzel. On January 11th, 2022, during his now infamous Jim Crow 2.0 speech, Biden claimed the following.
When I showed up at the G7 with 7 other world leaders, there were a total of 9 present. I said, America's back. And the response was, for how long? For how long? As someone who's worked in foreign policy my whole life, I never thought I would ever hear our allies say something like that.
And like magic, the details of that alleged conversation went from Biden defending American greatness to, oh my God, world leaders are worried that American democracy is on the verge of collapse.
And I sat down at a table, round table, with the 6 other world leaders from the European Union and Canada, et cetera, and said, America's back. And one of them turned to me and said, for how long? For how long? It was a deadly earnest question. For how long?
So Biden was spewing all of this bullshit leading up to the 2022 midterms in an attempt to scare voters.
And I sat down and I said, America's back. And one of the presidents...
Not joke. No,
well,
no
by
joke.
the way,
not joking, guys. Not
one
joking.
of the presidents said to me, I think it was Macron, looked at me and said, for how long?
Wow, what an...
Wow, this is amazing. So this really is. So Biden really is just saying this story over and over again and lying about when it happened and what it was about. Amazing. Biden is an out-and-out liar, dude, and he just lies just blatantly.
An inspiring speech. If you don't vote Democrat, democracy will die. And the first thing I said when I walked in, I said, America is back. And I will not, with the press here, say, went 2 heads of state said the same thing. For how long? For how long? So first Biden claimed that Macron said...
The funny thing about that story is what Biden wants you to, like, the presumption or, like, the assumption, like, built into the story is that these foreign leaders of democracies, they implicitly agree with Biden that Biden being president means America's back. Of course, a real world leader, when Biden says America's back, would be like, America's back? What the hell are you talking about? America's been way better off as a world leader with Trump. America's back. In what way is America back? When was America gone? You know, but Biden wants everybody to believe that, oh yeah, all of the world leaders agree that with Biden as president, then yeah, we all agree America's back now. It's like, no, America's back. When did America go away? And in what way is America's back? America's back to giving out money to people without getting anything in return? Is that what it? Foreign aid? Yo, Grasshopper. Boom, Grasshopper continuing the gift sub they got from PM. Thank you, Grasshopper. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate the support. Really means a lot. Every single individual sub means so much. Thank you, Grasshopper.
For how long? But there he said that it was 2 heads of state that said it.
I sat down for this 3-day conference and I said, America's back. And Macron, President of France, turned to me and said, for how long? For how long? They made a discussion with Schmidt and all that. I mean, just for how long?
Biden claims he had a discussion with Schmidt. Who is Schmidt, you ask? Well, that would be Helmut Schmidt, the former chancellor of West Germany, who left office in 1982. Now, maybe you're thinking, oh, well, maybe the former chancellor attended the G7 You know, like in an advisory position. Or maybe you just dropped by to say hi. Except I should mention that Helmut Schmidt died in 2015. And if you think that's bad... And I sat down and I said,
This is
America's
amazing.
back.
Yeah, this is a good video. Whoever shared this, thank you.
And Mitterrand looked at me and he said, "It is? No, I'm serious." And he said, "For how long?" Mitterrand. Joe Biden claims that he had a conversation with Francois Mitterrand, who hasn't been president of France since 1995. Not to mention that Mitterrand died in 1996.
Mitterrand?
But you know what? I wasn't there. Maybe Biden spoke to Schmidt and Mitterrand's Force ghosts, I don't know. And to show how full of it Biden is, here's the very first time he told the America is back but for how long story.
In my conversations with world leaders, and I've spoken to over 38, 40 of them now, I've made it known that America's back. And you know what they say? The comment I hear most of all from them? So they say, we see America's back, but for how long? But for how long?
I guarantee that if you...
Again, so it's this assumption is built in that all of the world leaders agree that America's back. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even mean anything. America's back. In what way? When did America go away? What the hell are you talking about, Joe Biden? It's this sort of just like vague, convoluted thing that's supposed to make you feel good and is supposed to be, oh my gosh, they really said for how long? So all the world leaders agree that America's back with Biden, but they're concerned that Biden might not be elected again or that we might go back to Trump. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my word, these world leaders.
Looked at the transcripts of every single phone call or meeting that Biden had with these world leaders, you wouldn't find a single instance where any of them responded negatively to Biden's America is back proclamation. If anything, I'm sure that they were complimentary and said stuff like, "That is both wonderful and reassuring to hear, Michel President, and thank you for wearing a mask. I wouldn't want to accidentally catch COVID while speaking on the phone." But Biden can't put that in a speech. Instead, he's trying to paint America as the underdog and that he's some kind of hero and he's the only one that can save America.
No matter
Right,
where I
Jim
go
Barr.
in the world,
Yep, Jim
whether
Barr.
it was the Inter-American Conference we just had for this hemisphere, or NATO, or dealing with the ASEAN countries or the Far East, guess what? They look at me and I say America's back, and they look at me and they say, for how long?
So let me get this straight. Whenever Joe Biden meets world leaders, he tells them America is back, and they all question him and say, for how long? Really? And if you think that's a bunch of BS, check out
this is
this
hilarious, dude.
And I said, America's back. And the president of one of the major companies looked at me and said, for how long? For how long? Well, guess what?
What, Joe?
Two of them said to me that they thought that America's days were over as leader.
Oh, really? You're telling me that one of these world leaders told Joe Biden that America's days as leader were over? They wouldn't have the guts. And even if they did say it, which they didn't, who cares? Even with joke Biden at the helm, America is still better than the rest of the G7 nations combined. So they can get bent. And with that said, that's it for now. Follow me on Twitter at Don'tWalkRun. A special thanks to Poofy for her help with the script. And be sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. As always, I hope to see you next time.
That's fantastic. Yeah, this guy is good, man. He did have the receipts. Good for him. See, that's honestly like when I talk about like I would love to be able to spend the time that it would take to make a video like that. You know, I can come on and do these live streams and stuff at night, but like, dude, that takes a significant amount of time to make that video. That would take a lot of time, and I have a job. I have to go into the office and work every day, all day. Which is why someday, hopefully, that enough of you folks out there will support me enough to where I could do this full full time, and then I would have the time to make videos like that. I just think that would be so much fun. And it would be, I could do so many interesting things, and I would do so much research, and I would write more, and I would make more videos, and it'd be amazing. Do not quit your day job. Oh, I'm not, Tickles. I'm not going to. If I had like, if I had millions of followers on Twitch and I had 10,000 subs or something, then I would. But I'm not gonna quit a highly successful law career. I'm a partner at a major law firm because I've got 100 subs on Twitch. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Our Republican friends and a few Democrats are very critical of what's going on the border, but yet refuse to even look at the detailed document I submitted for the Congress to consider to reform the process completely.
AMLO says Biden's first president to build not even 1 meter of wall. Wow.
You, President Biden, you are the first president of the United States in a very long time that has not built not even 1 meter of wall. And that, we thank you for that, sir.
Wow, dude. So the Mexican president literally told Joe Biden that he's the first president to not build even 1 meter of wall, and that that Mexico thanks him. AOC tweeted out, "Did you know that ongoing exposure to NO2 from gas stoves is linked to reduced cognitive performance?" Oh my gosh. I'll never give up my gas stove. If the maniacs in the White House come for me stove, they can pry it from my cold dead hands. Come and take it. And then she cites this Vox story. Gas stoves can generate unsafe levels of indoor air pollution. How are we all surviving? How are we even here, guys? How are we not all dead? How are Americans not all completely dead from gas stoves? Oh my gosh. Because there is no ongoing. Because you use it for maybe an hour a day. And there's fans, and there's a big house, and you're not breathing directly above it. Wow, dude. Biden changes tune on improperly stored classified documents after they were found in his old closet.
People know I take...
Boom! Gizmo with the 100 bits. Have a great show. Thank you, Gizmo. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, Gizmo. Really appreciate that. Woohoo! 100 bits coming in hot. Appreciate that. You the man, Gizmo. Right, Grasshopper. All you have to do is have a little ventilation and a fan. Most people have fans over their stove. Do they not? That ventilates the air out. I will say it's like, I have no problem, like, if this is, it makes inherent sense. I think this is what the Democrats always do. They always do something where there's a piece of it that makes a little bit of sense. There's a slight bit of logic behind it. Everybody's going to go, yeah, you're burning natural gas. Yeah, of course. It's like, the fumes from that are probably not good for you. But nobody's breathing in the fumes of natural gas, and so the better solution would be for the government to say, hey, look, we've kind of done some, there's been some new studies that, you know, if you sit there and you breathe the fumes of burning natural gas, that's bad for you. So, hey, maybe turn on your ventilation fans when you're cooking with your gas stoves, or open some windows up or do something like that, and you'll be fine. Instead, they want to ban stoves. Have they banned kerosene heaters and wood stoves? Nope, even though those are also horrible for you. This presser where Biden and the Mexican president took pot shots at conservatives for an hour. Did you watch the whole thing, Pro-Law? Holy crap, man.
Take classified documents and classified information seriously. When my lawyers were clearing out my office at the University of Pennsylvania, they set up an office for me, secure office in the Capitol. The 4 years after being vice president, I was a professor at Penn. They found some documents in a box in a locked cabinet, or at least a closet. And as soon as they did, they realized there were several classified documents in that box. And they did what they should have done. They immediately called the archives, turned them over to the archives, and I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to...
Yeah, I'm sure, Pro-Law. I mean, they're both leftists, so I'm sure that they just sat there and took pot shots at conservatives. Makes perfect sense.
...that office. But I don't know what's in the documents. My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were.
True, Sergeant Buzzkill, yep.
They've turned over the boxes to the archives, and we're cooperating fully.
Brisket, what's up, Brisket?
Cooperating fully with the review, and which I hope will be finished soon. And there'll be more detail at that time.
Gosh. Oh yeah, here's the RNC video on their YouTube
In 2018,
channel.
Joe Biden addressed his access to classified information in an interview with me. This was in the context of Russia's interference in U.S. elections, and it was in that office, the Penn Biden Center.
I don't have access to classified information anymore. I don't get briefed every morning by the agency.
Oh, little did we know, he actually had classified documents in that very office. Wow, dude. Wow. Biden refuses to take questions about classified documents discovered at his private office. God, that is just so unprofessional. I don't know why these people act like that. By the way, you guys, if you guys have never seen Fall of Civilizations, holy crap, those are good. Those are so good. I've been watching this one.
Bananas.
I'll show you guys a little introduction to this one. This is about Easter Island. Dude, these are so good, and they're usually a couple hours long.
In the early 18th century, a Dutch explorer named Admiral Jacob Roggeveen was sailing across the vast blue expanse of the South Pacific Ocean. He had been on the sea for 17 days.
Right, Pro-Law. I just tweeted that part out about the praising him and thanking him for not building a wall. Ridiculous.
Searching the Southern Ocean for a mythical continent known as Terra Australis. And when he saw a small island on the horizon, his heart must have skipped a beat, as Roggeveen recounts in his diary.
There was a great rejoicing among the people, and everyone hoped that this low land might prove to be a foretoken of the unknown southern continent.
But as their ships approached, it became clear that this was no vast continent, only a small island, a dot of land in the middle of the ocean. Nevertheless, Roggeveen was curious, and he ordered his 3 ships to prepare for landing. It was Easter Day, 1722. As the Dutch got closer, it became clear that the island ahead of them was inhabited. They saw smoke rising from the villages along the coast, but it was a seemingly barren land.
We originally, from a further distance, considered Easter Island to be sandy. The reasons for that is that we counted as sand the withered grass, hay, or other scorched and burnt vegetation, because its wasted appearance could give no other impression than of a singular poverty and barrenness.
As they sailed closer, the island's inhabitants came out on canoes to meet them, greeting them with friendly astonishment. This was much like other islands that Rogovin had visited before, but when he got ashore, what he found on this island amazed him. Along the beaches, lined up in rows with their backs to the sea, was a line of stone statues. They were carved from black volcanic stone, some of them standing 10 meters high, wearing crowns of red sandstone. But Rogovin and his men couldn't understand how these statues had got there.
Incredible, man. Absolutely mind-blowing. Again, this is called Fall of Civilization. There's a whole bunch of them. I've seen a couple of them. He goes through and like talks about all of the different civilizations that have fallen. But man, Easter Island, absolutely just staggering to think about, dude. Imagine those Easter Islanders on Rapa Nui, the Rapa Nui Islanders, building those massive statues in like the 1200s and 1300s, and living on a tiny little island way, way out in the dead middle of the South Pacific. Like, I just find that so interesting. I'd love to go to Easter Island. I'd love to go to Pitcairn Island. I'd love to go to the South Pacific someday. Man, that's super interesting. I'd like to go to like Tonga or Fiji or any of those South Pacific islands. New York Representative Anthony D'Esposito, House Republicans will always back law enforcement.
During the campaign, we make promises. And what's nice to hear today from our leadership is those promises that we made, we are going to keep. And I am excited, as a retired New York City detective, as someone who has spent his entire adult life in the public safety world, I'm excited.
Oh, TLS, you said, it's unbelievable that the people of Easter Island and other Pacific islands by way of those small catamaran boats blows my mind. Exactly, TLS. It's like I can't even wrap my mind around it. Like, these people were able, with little like handmade natural material, like little canoes and catamarans with two canoes tied together, sail all across the South Pacific carrying, chickens and pigs or rats or what and stuff, and plants, trees, and they'd go and settle these islands, and they settled the South Pacific, and they all lived on all these South Pacific islands and built these huge, amazing civilizations and these massive statues. It's just, it's really something to think about. That would be so cool to go visit Easter Island. Doing homework. What's up, doing homework? I'm amazing at politics, and I'm a great lawyer as well. You know it, and I know it.
Excited that our leadership has put the protection of law enforcement at the forefront. As Democrats and the far radicals wage war, especially in New York, against those who wear the uniform, I'm honored to be part of a group that stands with the men and women who protect and serve, a group that stands to protect us and make sure that we hold accountable those who take oaths.
Plus, having 29 now, having 20, you realize that having 29 viewers on Twitch puts me in the top 1% of all Twitch streamers. You realize that, right? I'm literally, and you realize that I was in the top 0.1% of all income earning Twitch streamers when the leak happened exposing Twitch people's incomes. I'm literally like the top 1% of all. Do you realize how hard it is and how difficult it is to get to 30 viewers on Twitch? That's extreme success. That's literally top 1%. I'm literally the 1%er on Twitch. It's not easy to get to 30 viewers.
To prosecute and protect us, and I'm excited and look forward to the coming weeks and the 118th Congress, where we will put forth our commitment to America and continue.
iFly Texas, what's up? No, I haven't read that one, iFly. You recommend it? How is it?
Continue to protect the United States of America and the men and women who serve it.
Heck yeah. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, House. Did you guys see Stefan Molyneux is back on Twitter? Has he tweeted yet? Did you guys see that? Stefan Molyneux. This guy's back on Twitter. Welcome back, my friend. Yeah, here he is. 384 followers. Has he tweeted yet? Nope, he still hasn't tweeted. Will he tweet? Will Stefan Molyneux tweet? Man, isn't it sad that big tech is so successful at canceling people? You look at somebody like Stefan Molyneux and exactly, Pro-Law, exactly. Which I am an equity partner. I literally own the law firm. This guy, like, I'm literally like, I'm at the top of the legal profession, which is not easy to do. I'm at the top of Twitch politics, like, not easy to do. And this guy wants to come in and
our first order
naysay. Meanwhile, he's watching my stream. Old gamer Mike, what's up, Mike? I wish the Middle East was safe, as I always wanted to see the pyramids, but it's not safe. No, it's not, Mike. The Middle East is not safe. It used to be. And in fact, I mean, you could still go to Egypt, Mike. They have things in Egypt called the tourist police, where they will protect tourists, because Egypt, the Egyptian economy has obviously big dependency on tourism. They want to encourage tourism, so they will try to protect tourists in Egypt. At least that was when I went there. I went to Egypt in 2006 when I was on semester at sea studying abroad. But they literally have like tourist police that will protect tourists. But I know it's way different now. It's way more dangerous than it used to be. So I do recommend that he has footnotes like the attorney he is. Oh, okay, nice. I fly Texas. I like the title of it. Why and how to fix the EPA. Interesting. I mean, why not just get rid of the EPA and let the states regulate pollution?
Our first orders of legislative business have been exactly what we promised to the American people. We promised on day one to repeal Joe Biden's army of 87,000 new IRS agents, and yesterday we did just that. Today we will counter the Chinese Communist Party with our Select Committee on China. We will vote to protect every American's constitutional rights with the new Select Subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government. We will also vote to stop the Biden administration from selling our strategic petroleum reserves to China.
Nice. Good. The Biden administration should not be selling our strategic oil reserves, which are there in case we get into a war, selling that to China. I still think that's impeachable.
Mayor, one question has been about what the president...
El Paso Dem Mayor says Biden didn't get a full view of the border crisis during border drive-by. Of course not.
Mayor, one question has been about what the president didn't see, because from our reports on the ground, our reporters who are with him, he didn't actually come face-to-face with any of the migrants there. And we know that there are hundreds of migrants, of course. We've seen them sleeping on the streets of El Paso. So did he get a sufficient view of the humanitarian crisis aspect of this?
Well, he didn't.
He didn't.
Mayor, one question has been about what the president didn't see, because from our reports on the ground, our reporters who are with him, he didn't actually come face-to-face with any of the migrants there. And we know that there are hundreds of migrants, of course. We've seen them sleeping on the streets of El Paso. So did he get a sufficient view of the humanitarian crisis aspect of this?
Well, he didn't.
Ouch. Dude, it's amazing. Even the Democrats on the border are not impressed with Joe Biden in any way, shape, or form and calling him out for this. CBS News, U.S. Attorney FBI investigating classified documents found at Biden think tank.
3 sources tell CBS News the classified documents were discovered in this building about a mile from the White House at the offices of the Penn Biden Center, a foreign policy research institute set up after President Biden left the vice presidency. According to a source familiar with the matter, the classified documents are small in number and were found in November in a box among unclassified.
Oh, guys, it's just a small number of classified docs. It's just a small number, not a big deal, guys. West Dude, what's up, West Dude? Good to see you, man. Biden's border visit was a Potemkin visit. Before he got there, they sent out Border Patrol to remove all migrants and block them from getting with. I saw that, West Dude. Yeah, they totally cleaned it up and sanitized it. Of course, he didn't get a real look at the reality of what's going on, dude. They got to protect him more than that.
Material. Sources would not characterize how sensitive the documents are. Responding to requests from CBS News, the White House counsel said that on November 2nd of last year, before the midterm elections, lawyers for President Biden were cleaning out office.
Exactly, TLS. I was commenting on that earlier, TLS. So this was discovered a week before the election, but of course, it was kept private until after the election. So wrong. So wrong. If you don't notice that and recognize that there is some kind of dirty dealings or corruption going on there, like, that's pathetic. Wow, Goofball. Wow, Goofball's my number 1 person in the election. Number 2, American Patriot. 3, Shimbasi. Number 4, Pro-Law. Number 5, PM. Number 6, Deplorable Apple. Number 7, Guess. Number 8, Inversity. Number 9, a bot. 10 is a bot. 11's a bot. 12 is Jimbar. 13 a bot. 14 a bot. 15 is Grumple. 16 a bot. 17 a bot. 18 is Altair. 19 Mix-a-Lot. 20 is Numb. Hey, we got the 2024 election coming along nicely.
Space at the center. When they discovered the documents marked classified in a locked closet, they stopped the work and contacted the White House. White House lawyers then reached out to the National Archives, which is responsible for the records.
Just by being here, Pro-Law. Just by being here. Pro-Law, that's it. He must have... Goofball, he doesn't chat much, but he's not a bot. I've seen him chat before. He has chatted before, so I know that he's not a bot, but he does not chat much, but he's always here. Those bots love your channel. Oh, they do, TLS. Like, if you look at my viewer list, it's just full of bots. Goofball is a streamer. Is he really? Okay, let me go give him a follow then. I didn't even know that. Twitch.tv/goofball. I'll shoot him a follow. Goofball. Wow. 2,000 followers too. Follow. Shit, I didn't even know he's a streamer. Recent broadcast. When was this? 6 days ago?
Refresh. Level up.
Doing more of like one of my metal playlists, more of the rock type. It's about 8:30 or 9. Some nights I go to bed earlier. Usually catch up on sleep really big time on the weekends. But
damn, look at that beard. This guy's got a real beard.
I don't know why I don't stream that late anymore. I have here recently. I think episode 8 of Horizon Dawn. We went until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Good for him, streaming American Truck Sim. Cool, man. Well, I shot him a follow. I feel bad I never followed him. He's been a long-time viewer of the channel. Didn't even know he was a streamer. That's cool. Thanks for letting me know, TLS. Can't even have planed IR better. Still funny how my number for 2022 is all ones. Is it, Old Gamer Mike, on my Twitch bio? I didn't even notice that. Election denier, 2-time loser, Georgia Democrat Stacey Abrams. I will likely run again. Are you serious,
So
Stacey?
what's next? Are you going to run again? Are you going? Like, do we get to look forward to this and galvanize again?
I will likely run again.
Yeah!
I don't know what.
my God. So are you going to go out?
Wow, look at the audience. What is this? Look at that, dude. Look at that. Jeez, West Dude. My man, West Dude. Holy cow, West Dude. 23 polls. Yes, 11,111. That's crazy, Old Gamer Mike. That's awesome. TLS, he beat me in the last election by 1 place. I had to investigate. Nice, TLS. Nice, nice. I'm fine with her running. She will just lose again. True, true. How do you get more points? West Dude, the only way... Well, there's a couple of ways you can get points, West Dude. Is number one, you earn points by watching the stream. So like I think you get like 1 point every 5 minutes, or you get 5 points every 1 minute, or something like that. Okay. Number two is you can play mini games in chat. You can do the heist. You can do the free for all. You can do the challenges. You can do the whatever the other mini games are in chat. Most common is the heist. You can do heist, which is essentially gambling and try to gain more pulls. And then number three, you can do, if you want, it's also my election is rigged. And now I'll just keep in mind that for 2020 and 2022 and 2018, none of those people won because they gave me money. But I will earn polls in exchange for subs and bits. As I say on my stream, I am a capitalist. I do think earning money is good. I need to earn money on Twitch in order for me to continue to be able to stream, and to me to ultimately someday meet my dreams of becoming a full-time political commentator and author and et cetera, et cetera. So I will give out polls. If you cheer 1,000 or gift 5 subs, I'll give you 100 polls. But you have to remind me to do it because it's not automatic. I have to manually give those polls out. But yeah, if you check, what's cool, you guys, is if you check my Twitch bio, you can see the 2018 results, 2020 results, and 2022 results, which is basically like the top 20 viewers of my stream for all those 2-year segments. And so we'll do another one for 2024, and I'll put another list on my Twitch bio for 2024. But I just think it's cool to have those election results on my Twitch bio, and so people have their names in my Twitch bio from winning the election. And so again, you get polls by being in chat, by watching the stream, by gambling, using the mini games like heist. Proli, you have to say how many polls you want to try to heist. So you got to do exclamation point heist, and then like 5 or 10 or 100. That you do exclamation point heist, and then you put the number of polls that you want to gamble. And so you can gamble and you can earn more polls that way. And then again, if you want to support the channel with subs and bits and stuff, I'll give polls out for that too.
Oh my God. So are you going to go up against some tough men who kind of don't always play fair?
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And if it doesn't work, you try again.
Well, you don't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Election denier, failed Democrat candidate Stacey Abrams. Part of my job, I run for office, yes. Who's paying her to run for office?
I'm part of my job, and I run for office, yes. But my first responsibility is to make sure anyone who wants to vote can, who's eligible. I want you to vote for me when you get in there, but...
I'm so sick of these Democrats acting like they just want everybody to vote. No, you guys want Democrats to vote. You're not ballot harvesting Republican ballots. You're ballot harvesting Democrat ballots. She wasted $100 million. Dude, I know, guess. Of course she's going to run again. Why would she not? Did she really raise $100 million or have that much? That's insane. By the way, Minmus Man, welcome. Good luck on the heist. TLS, good luck on the heist. Prologue, good luck on the heist. Here it comes. You'd think she would move to California to get elected. Yeah, she might not be able to get elected there. But, dude, why wouldn't she run again? If she can raise millions and millions of dollars and she can have control over millions and millions of dollars and get to travel around, and why not? Why not? Throwback to the time Joe Biden claimed without evidence he could have played in the NFL. Did he really say that?
I thought maybe I could make him the pros, but look what hell. I actually was foolish enough to ask Floyd Little whether he could get his, he was a friend of mine in Syracuse, if he could get his agent to see if I could walk on. You know, 50, every year they allow 50 folks to walk on. Well, guess what? He said, he came back to me laughing. He said, my agent said they're afraid if they let you walk on, they'd have to just carry you off.
Wow. On border drive-by, Biden tells Salvation Army worker he spent some time with the Secret Service.
And here we have the Salvation Army. You also have
Oh, nice. Pro-Law and TLS win the heist. Crispy Meatball. What's up, Crispy? Welcome. Congrats, Pro-Law and TLS winning the heist. 25% return on investment. Pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Whatever. Local El Paso news confirms police were arresting people at the border in advance of Biden's drive-by. Wow.
Of course, this area had a lot of police presence. We've been reporting in the past couple of weeks of police coming here. They've been arresting people for maybe paraphernalia. They had access to marijuana, those types of arrests. We spoke to one woman. We asked her, have people been cleaning this area in preparation for President Biden's visit? One woman did tell us that, yes, she has seen city officials or city employees out here cleaning the area in preparation to President Biden's visit.
Wow. That really is amazing how much of just a fake show the Biden visit to El Paso was. Just completely staged. Completely staged. Joe Biden begins highly choreographed El Paso drive-by with tour of CBP parking lot.
Yeah, come on this side too.
Nightfall, what's up, Nightfall? Yes, I'm on all the platforms, Nightfall. LCTR fan on every platform, yep. Thanks so much, man. Also, guys, my only backup is my email list. I'm trying to gather the emails of my supporters and people that support me in case I ever get banned. If you guys haven't given me your email, please click the link in chat, go to lecturefan.live. Type in your email address just so that I have it. It's my only way to it's my only way to basically have any way to contact you guys if I ever get banned on Twitch or banned from anything or canceled. So again, I'm not doing anything with the email list other than just compiling it in case I ever need it in emergency. If you guys support me, please give me sign your email up. It's otherwise big tech controls our relationship. Unless you guys type your email into that address, then big tech controls us and controls our relationship and controls our ability to communicate. So the only way that I will ever be able to communicate with you guys if something were ever to happen is going to be through that email list. So if you wouldn't mind, if you support me, and I'd appreciate you guys signing up to the lecturefan.live email list. And then I'm Lecture Fan on every platform. Also, if you guys want to follow, jump into my Discord server. You won't get any notifications other than when I go live. Discord link is in chat. I'm super active on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Trying to get to 1,000 subs on YouTube. If you haven't subbed on YouTube, please do so. That's the main ones. But I'm on Instagram too. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I do post pictures on Instagram and stuff. So, well, folks, I'm kind of tired with that. I'm gonna roll out. Maybe let me see if I should raid anybody. We got enough folks here that I could probably raid somebody. If you guys want to raid with me. Crimson Moon. Who is that? I don't even know who some of these people are that I follow. Fabian Liberty is live. I'll throw Fabian Liberty a raid. Why not?
What?